Some spice to your nooner. Funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, here we go. Massive Wednesday. Rothman and Ice, Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, and the one and only Loose Cannon at the switches. Boys, how we feeling?
How can you not feel good right now? The sun is shining. We're a day closer to Friday.
The birdies are singing?
The birdies are singing. The Reds have won 4 games in a row, but the Columbus Blue Jackets, ladies and gentlemen, are still alive. So you're telling me, AR, there's a chance.
Oh, there's a chance, all right. Now, this is still... hopefully to get to 82 that matters. I can't stop myself from thinking about what that ticket is going to be like on Thursday if this happens tonight. If Carolina, who, by the way, is probably sitting Aho, Blake, Chatfield, Jarvis. They're the guys that weren't on the ice for the morning skate in Montreal. Could be amazing. Now, like I said, you can't rest everybody, and they've had some recalls here of some kids, but Montreal is, that picture, you go into that restaurant, Maddie, and they used to have it. I don't know if it's more prevalent now or they're gone, but when I was a kid, I don't know whether it was legal that they had to post the Heimlich maneuver on the wall. Like you'd walk in and, you'd have the drawing, the other guy behind, it's just,
I don't remember
the Heimlich
seeing
maneuver
these at a
right
restaurant.
there.
Have you ever had to do this?
No, I hope I never do. And I will not be including that in 2 lies and a truth or 2 truths and a lie or truth or dare or whatever we're going to play today. No, I hope I never do.
No, I'm not playing Twister with you guys.
The operative phrase is with you guys.
Yeah, I'm not playing Twister
Said
with
he's
you guys.
played the naked Twister with somebody else, which is not with you guys. Right. So I feel like here's the thing about Montreal. I said this before, like they haven't been through this. They don't really know what it's like. Protecting is different. We just saw it with Rory McIlroy. Protecting is different than chasing. Just ask Duke. Just ask Houston what it's like to be protecting a lead and having to seal it. Duke couldn't do it. Yeah. Houston couldn't do it. And they're both sitting there today going, I can't believe we didn't do it. And so that's what makes this fun is that the Jackets still don't have the pressure yet. They've been playing with as the chaser. They knew they needed help. They still need help. There's nothing they can do about it. If Montreal gets a point tonight, then it's over. It doesn't matter. If the hockey gods shine on them,
please,
and Carolina wins tonight,
please.
What happens, though, then is the whole weight of the world shifts. You think this has been pressure just trying to get to this moment? You don't know what pressure is. These guys, they'll feel it on Thursday.
You'll take it, though.
Of course you will.
Controlling your own destiny.
Of course you will.
Give me that all 100%. Day and tomorrow. So I've been praying to the hockey gods all morning. I don't know if they are hearing me. They have not responded. I don't like what you mentioned off the top about who's playing, who's not playing.
I don't know.
That does not feel good at all.
Jarvis, Aho, I don't know. Svechnikov might. Natchez might. Patty Laine for the Canadians tonight. Roslovic on the Canes. Like I feel like there's a weird vibe tonight that we just got to help them continue to choke. They've kind of been that team right now. Yeah. They don't know what it's like to seal it up. They got a game tonight. And here's the weirdest part I'll mention. So I've been watching it all morning, and a little shout out to my boy Dookie on the West Coast, my West Coast connections. Because when I woke up this morning, Montreal was a slight favorite. Not much. It was weird. They were like minus 120, which is implied gambling odds, Maddie, of 55%, something like that. Like just a little over a flip of the coin.
Close to 50-50 limit line.
And Montreal's at home.
They're at the crib.
So it didn't make sense to me that they weren't a little more of a favorite, knowing what Carolina might be putting on the ice tonight. And then the thing flipped. Like out of nowhere. This flipped to the Canes being the favorite. And I was like, okay, what is going on? Who's injured for Montreal? What's happening here? And I'm looking, the goalies are the same. I'm not seeing anything too drastic from Montreal's standpoint. And now guess what? It's off the board. It's like they're getting Vegas is exposed right now. They don't know what to do, which is great. I love when you have Vegas on tilt a little bit because they really don't know what to do right now because it doesn't make sense that Montreal wouldn't be a fairly heavy favorite tonight, backs against the wall, knowing, and you know what Montreal's thinking. You know exactly what they're thinking. They lose tonight, they're out. That's what they're thinking. There's not a guy in that room that feels like somehow the Islanders are going to save them on Thursday here in Columbus.
At least the way the Jackets are playing right now.
It's not what their mindset is. It's hockey. Anything can happen. You don't know what would ignite a game, a hit, a check, something stupid happens, a bad penalty. Nobody knows how a game in hockey could ignite and go the other way. But this is why it's fun. So 7:07 tonight, ESPN Plus, Bell Center, Montreal backs against the wall. They probably figured got to get a point out of it, and then they're okay. But if that's a tie game late, do they go into massive protection mode? I was thrilled to watch that game last night. We'll get to that a lot today. The Jackets and how they played last night. Yes, they were supposed to win that game, but supposed to win it and doing it are two different things. They have the greatest story in sports right now again. They were the little engine that could. Then they got all the way to the Stadium Series and became the center of the universe in hockey, won that. Pressure gets heaped on them. Then they go into the scoring drought. Then they try to rescue it. They have. And then they have to go to essentially their third-string goalie. Jet Greaves is as locked in as any goalie in the world right now. 120 of 123 shots, 976 save percentage, and he saved their butts time and time again last night.
And two shutties. Two shutouts.
Killed a couple penalties early in that game in the first. 2-0 game. Fabro gets poke-checked. And here they are again with a 2-on-none, I think. And he has a kick save at a beauty. So this is who they are. They could get us all the way to 82. I hope it happens. They've been that kind of team. It feels different to me. I was texting with Bake last night. He's like, oh, heartbreak's coming, the Islanders. I'm like, listen, they have ripped the hearts out before. I get it. This feels different. It feels different to me. I don't know whether it's...
it would feel different to me if Carolina
13 or whatever's going on, but there's something there.
Maybe so. I would not put that past the situation at all. I just would feel so much better right now if Carolina was locked in with their guys. Locked in with all the guys over there on Carolina's side. For me, that is bringing me a very high sense of uneasiness, but zooming out from that.
I don't know why I said Natchez, by the way. He's an Av. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
I got all the...
Jet Greaves right now, AR, and I know this isn't an apples-to-apples comparison, but it feels to me very much like the situation we talked about with the Cleveland Browns a couple years ago, where you have this guy that kind of comes out of nowhere, lights a fuse for the team, and they go on this incredible run, and that was Joe Flacco for the Browns. And here you are with Jet Greaves, and we've seen Jet a few times, but the timing of what he is doing reminds me of that, to where this guy has just thrown up a brick wall time and time and time again and put this team in position, along with some other guys, which I'm sure we will get to because Adam Fantilli, right before our eyes, is turning into an absolute dog. But you got to have this type of goaltending to put yourself in position to win critical games, and that's exactly what Jet is doing. He is cooking with hot grease right now, and it couldn't come at a better time. And so just so happy for him to have this type of success, because the pressure I'm sure he felt coming into this situation individually was through the roof, and he's answering the call, and you laid out the numbers. And again, the timing of this has just been spot on, and hopefully he gets a chance tomorrow night to do it again and put the Jackets into the postseason.
Yeah, and it will be a different pressure. You hope you get to that because those are the games these guys, they talk it all the time. Those are the games you want to play in. That's why you make it to this level for that kind of privilege and pressure and all that. And like I said, it's not like they're predicted to be like Stanley Cup champs. And they were predicted to be a 69-point hockey team this year. So, they've shattered that. They've overachieved and all that. You just get to this point and you feel like it's there. If it's there for the taking and you don't take it, there's no question it'll be a gut punch, especially in a game you think you're supposed to win at home, because your mind says that building won't allow them to lose, but we know different. They're human beings at sports. Anything can happen, but what I saw, Monahan winning faceoffs, it's never going to be on the highlight reel. The guy's just on his knees, digging out faceoffs, getting the puck where it needs to go. Dante Fabro, who lit the lamp on the first slapper, just unleashed a rocket, will join us at 1 o'clock today. So we'll do a kind of a special edition of Hockey and Hounds at 1 o'clock with Dante Fabro. And it fits, the former Terrier on Hockey and Hounds. And so KJ had a slapper. I thought that Greaves early in the third was unreal. And then, Fance getting to 30 goals on that feed for Marchie was pretty special. By the way, that thing goes off his skate, not his stick. That's when that things are kind of shiny a little bit. You get right place, right time. You get that kind of bounce, kind of streaking in, and it goes off his skate and into the net, so kind of seals it up. But I'm glad they didn't have to get to a point last night where they had to pull Jet Greaves. Can you imagine if it was imagine if it was a 2-2 game and you had to pull a guy who's playing well, or a 1-1 game.
Yeah, it would have been tough.
Because early on, and I was wrong, I thought there'd be more goals in that game. He was as good as advertised. So here they are, and they're all going to be, I guess, one eye on their phones or locked in. I know everybody's different on how they want to handle that tonight. It's not like a watch party for the team. It's. You can only do so much.
Those guys will definitely be locked in.
Yeah, I just think you want to I think you kind of have one eye on it. I don't know how locked in you'd be. You kind of, okay, what's the score? And then if it's going your way, maybe you dip into it a little bit. It's going to hit
different for everybody. A guy like Z was telling us he likes to keep his eye on all this stuff. Some guys over there may just want to look at the final score when it's done. But to each his own. But, yeah, the excitement that's around this whole situation has just been so much fun. And having that game tomorrow with just everything on the line would obviously mean the world to them, the fans, and just everybody involved. And I just think those guys deserve that chance. So hopefully Carolina can do it. The odds are against us. There's no doubt about it, but crazy things happen in the sport all the time.
Yeah, can't remember the last time I was locked into a Montreal-Carolina game.
Exactly.
It's going to be that way. All right, so we'll do a lot with that today. And like I said, we'll have Fabs on at 1 o'clock. We've got Schefter on this hour, senior NFL insider. We'll come back. A little football talk as well. And one player you know very well says he's about to make him pay, figuratively. Give you those details next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here from my friends at High Bank Distillery Co., located right here in Columbus. Introducing their newest product, 614 Vodka, Ohio's house vodka. Perfect to make a drink at home or try when you're out at your favorite local restaurant. Learn more at 614vodka.com.
After 5 months of gray winter skies, we're all ready for beautiful spring color. It's only natural. Get to Oakland Nursery for an explosion of spring colors. Blooming shrubs, fragrant lilacs, hydrangeas, azaleas, and rhododendrons, and Central Ohio's largest selection of roses with thousands to choose from. Break out of winter's gray with spring's beautiful colors at Oakland Nursery and celebrate Oakland Nursery's 85 years of serving you. If you haven't been to Oakland Nursery, you simply haven't been to a nursery.
Buy now with pre-tariff pricing at Coughlin Kia. Lease a new 2025 Kia K4, just $195 a month plus taxes and fees. Or choose low 1.9% financing for 60 months on a new 2025 Kia Sportage or Sorrento. Visit CoughlinKia.com.
Coughlin has the car for you.
1.9% for 60 months equals $18.37 per 1,000 with approved credit through Kia Motor Finance. 24-month lease, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents per mile over. 2025 due. Excludes $250 dock fee, $400 disposition fee at lease end. No security deposit. See dealer for details. Ends 4/30/25.
Come into your local AAA Car Care Plus location this month and buy 3 select tires, you'll get the 4th tire free, plus a free alignment. And on the plus side, AAA members save more. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
He shoots, he scores! No matter your sport, it's a great time of year to be a fan. But the fun stops when you or a loved one can't control your gambling. At Maryhaven, we're here to help. Whether it's gambling, drugs, alcohol, or mental health, you don't have to go it alone. With in-person, virtual, and group options, Maryhaven meets you where you are. Always judgment-free. Go to maryhaven.com today. That's maryhaven.com.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, three-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, two-time national football champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining Life Search to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to lifesearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. Life Search featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit lifesearch.com today.
The Fan at 1460 ESPN Columbus is your radio home for Sunday Night Baseball.
Sponsored by The Waterworks. Call The Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling today at 614-232-2222.
The Fan.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 26th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Hey there, Central Ohio. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens. Mid-50s and sunny this afternoon. Temperatures drop tonight under clear skies, near freezing by early Thursday. We'll see temperatures in the mid-60s Thursday afternoon. Dry during the day. Small rain chance Thursday night. Rain chances will pick back up Friday night, but that'll come after a dry Friday that pushes temperatures near 80. That's your latest 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
A perfect afternoon parlay. This is Rothman and Ice.
Watching the betting board from Montreal and Carolina's watching the stock market lately. It's just all over the place. Montreal's back to being the favorite. Currently on Bet365. It was off the board for a while. I saw it about an hour ago where you could bet Montreal at even money, and it made no sense. It really didn't. I don't know what was going on there. Whether the only thing I can imagine is that people bet into the choke mode. That they just bet Carolina on value, and then they had to flip it. They had to flip it because they were too exposed, and so now they had to tempt people to take Montreal to get it back to where they need it. And now Montreal's back to where they were this morning, or a little more, minus 125. So, a little more than 55, 60%.
You and I were talking during the break about, potential heartbreak that could come the way of the Jackets. And one of the sickest things that could happen to us in the team is...
Do you want to say it?
Yeah.
Because I said it during the break on purpose.
It's got to be on the minds of Jacket fans is Patrick Laine. And what he could potentially do tonight. Listen, the dude only has one goal in the month of April. One goal in the month of April, has not recorded a point in 4 games in a row. So we're not throwing this out there because he's due, but it's a bit of the elephant in the room that guy on that team tonight has a chance to hurt his former team.
Matty, Josh Anderson, Laine, Savvy.
Don't do it to us, man.
Well, you need to tap into Eric Robinson and Jack Roslovic on the other side.
Should I curse Montreal with a print the shirts today?
I think it's almost a little too late. I wouldn't do it because it feels like.
Because when I throw it out there.
Yeah, but you throw it out.
You know what happens.
The only way that would have worked is if you threw it out there about 5 games ago. And then I would have believed that you are the sorcerer. But I don't know if you could do it tonight. I would let them fail on their own.
One of my boys was trying to get me to do it today with my Reds, and I was like, I'm not doing it. I like what I see, but I'm not doing it. But yeah, the whole line A thing, that'd be a sick way for us to go out. We can't have that. Hockey gods, please not like that. Please.
I don't know, man. He's a head case too, so I'm not really sure where he is as far as where he's going to be tonight and the opportunities. Nobody really knows. That's why we're going to watch. No, the worst part would be, no, you just can't. Once you control your own destiny, then it's all on you. Then you have no way out. Yeah. Then that would be an amazing thing to get to game 82 on your home ice against a team that is not there to play for anything, and then to see if you can't seal it up. That's what everybody wants to see. Let's see what happens. The Nick Chubb thing, you want to talk about, actually it's a pretty good segue into will he come back to haunt me? And I've always thrown that phrase out about whether you're playing stupid fantasy football and cutting a guy and will he come back to haunt me? Nick Chubb has been kind of one of those running backs in football and fantasy and reality where you never really want to count him out. It was about as gruesome of a knee injury we've seen in 23. The recovery from that kind of cut into the season this year. And he only averaged 3 yards a carry. And so he's going to be a free agent. He's going into age 29. And I'm a little surprised that it feels like he has a little bit of is he holding a little bit of grudge against the Browns? I mean, they've kind of stuck by him. They could have cut him before this.
I don't know if it's the Browns or just people in general around the world of football, but there was a video that went out on his Instagram, I believe yesterday, where he's in the lab, he's in the weight room right now, and he's squatting 500-plus pounds. And one of the comments or captions underneath the video is Chubb saying, they've already wrote my ending when I'm just getting started. And so whenever I hear stuff like this from an athlete, I'm not surprised. These guys got to be their own motivators. They take anything as far as negativity and they can blow it up and use that as fuel to get better. I respect that, and I'm sure that's where Chubb is. But the reality of the situation is, you mentioned the gruesome leg injury in 2023, the broken foot last year. This is slipping and sliding the wrong way for a guy that has had a bunch of carries on his plate for years and years. And prior to these injuries happening, I really thought that Nick Chubb was on the Hall of Fame highway. I mean, he's talking about breaking Browns records, the longest rushing touchdown in team history at 92 yards. Outside of Jim Brown, he's the only guy in team history to rush for 1,500 yards. So that's the type of company and rare air he was in. It's just a tough situation right now for the Browns fan base, but I'm sure the Browns as well, because you have the emotional tie to this guy that did bring you so many high positive thoughts and high positive moments out there on the field. But at this position, there's only a couple guys that have really around the league shown that, one, that they can recover from injury and play at a high level, or two, age well and continue to play at a high level as well. If they want to run it back with Nick Chubb on a one-year deal, I wouldn't be up against that because I don't think the money would be crazy. I just think regardless of what happens, with or without Nick Chubb, you got to get a fresh running back out of the draft that can give you a guy that you think could be your running back of the future. So it's up in the air for me, AR. It doesn't feel like from the Browns side of things that there's a bunch of interest in him at the moment, but things I'm sure will change for Chubb when we get done with the draft and some of these running backs that are in the draft find new homes. And if there's a team that wants a running back that can't get the running back they like in the draft, maybe Nick Chubb, his hotline will bling. We'll see.
Listen, they leaned into the personal and emotional side of it. It wasn't going to be a popular decision if they let him go before, based on what was going on with Deshaun and the mistakes they made, and he's an inspirational leader. It might have sent the wrong message. So I think they kind of threw not bad money in there, but it just didn't feel right. Like from a business standpoint, they would have saved a lot. They would have saved $11, $12 million by cutting him. Like, you know, they would have had only $4 million dead cap, and then they just wound up reworking his deal and try to incentivizing him. I think that's coming for somebody. Running back position always needs depth. The other thing you mentioned about the Hall of Fame, and it's so difficult to get in the Hall of Fame as a running back these days. I mean, Henry will go in, obviously, but there have been only a few backs that have gone into Hall of Fame in the last 6, 7, 8 years. Who was LaDainian? Who else went in?
TD?
Terrell Davis. Yeah, I think he went. Edgerrin James.
Yep.
So it haven't been a lot. And so it's just one of those situations where I think he was borderline if he would have stayed healthy. This is what's going to happen. Someone's going to need running back depth, and they're going to offer him a 1-year prove-it deal at a decent amount, enough for him to take it. And if he has more than one option, he might take it in the AFC just to
stick it to the Browns.
Yeah, maybe. Loose cannon Steelers call him. Najee Harris gone, playing the division. Why not? Would he do that on purpose to play in the division? I don't know. But he'll probably go where the right situation is for him. But that's what I see coming for him, is not any kind of, well, how could you invest long-term in a guy, in a 30-year-old running back coming off that kind of
it's not going to be a long-term contract. I think the
1 year.
The 1 year, maybe 2, is absolutely the ballpark he'll be in. He is, to me, the most interesting name, I think, in the free agent market right now. Probably J.K. Dobbins after Nick Chubb, but out there on the free agent market for running backs, it's Jamal Williams, Jeff Wilson, Amir Abdullah, Chase Edmonds. So he's in this free agent class to where he's probably at the top of a lot of teams' list, that if they don't get a Amarian Hampton or Ashton Genty or Travion Henderson or Quinshon in the draft, Nick Chubb, I think, will definitely have some interest coming from certain franchises just because of the what if. Because if that guy is still in there and you get him on a 1-year cheap deal, that's going to be one of the best contracts in the league. But because of the injuries that he's had so far, it's just a massive question mark. It really is.
You bring him in, you put him on the squat rack, you say, hey, we got 5 bills on there. Let's see what you can do.
He's done that.
He does it.
Yeah.
Fine. Here's your 1-year deal.
He's done that the last couple off seasons, so we know the dude can still throw some iron around. That's for sure.
All right, we are 8 days away from draft night, and Shefty's coming out next, the senior NFL insider. We'll see if he has any real locked-in feel about the Brownies at 2 and everybody around them. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Annie's first oil change wasn't as hard as she thought, because she went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped her find the right oil and save on an oil filter. He explained the job and showed her free how-tos on AutoZone.com. When she was done, AutoZone recycled her old oil for free. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Chargers sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
NFL Playbook with ESPN's Adam Schefter.
Sponsored by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
All right, Effort and Shefty. We'll get him on as soon as we can. So I didn't know whether this was a new story or an old story, but I think he's been to the Masters before, Schefter.
Mm-hmm.
And reportedly he went this year, and you know the rules there. You can't have your phone. And I would think like a week and a half before the NFL draft, there are certain places he wouldn't want to be. Right. Because there's probably no time in the day where he wouldn't have his phone on. And shower doesn't matter. Phone is there. It'd be like my analogy, Maddie, of if I had the winning lottery ticket in my pocket and they said the only way you can cash this is to walk, be able to physically walk to like the lottery office a mile away or 5 miles away. I'm not going skiing the day before.
No, I'm not doing anything.
I may not even sleep upstairs because I'd have to go down the stairs.
Yeah, I'm avoiding all of that.
I
might not even go to the bathroom. Not even trying to walk anywhere.
So I'm just thinking of all the places where he would want to be without a phone would be interesting. I want to get this confirmed. All right, NFL playbook time, and here he is, senior NFL insider. Were you at the Masters?
Yes, sir.
What day?
Thursday and Friday.
Thursday and Friday. So
correct.
So we're looking at 2 weeks before the NFL draft.
Yep.
And you broke away from your phone, unless
Yes.
Adam Schefter gets special privileges even at Augusta.
You know, I saw a person Wednesday night when I got there. She showed me her phone, and she had like a little sticker on it. And I guess I don't know who she was doing work for, but she's a content creator. And they
it's
give her,
Claire Rogers, I bet.
I don't remember. But it was this young woman, and she showed me this sticker that she had on her phone, and you could bring your phone in if you had that sticker. They obviously don't give them out. And I'm like, oh my God, what I would get for that sticker. And I didn't have one. And basically, yeah, I was without my phone Thursday and Friday, and you know, there on Friday, what was interesting was I wore a quarter zip Michigan fleece.
Right.
Okay. And it didn't take me but 10 minutes to realize that I made a mistake. Like that was something I shouldn't have done. Because it was like it became more like I was getting, you know, on Thursday and Friday, like a lot of people say, hey, Shefty, you know, who the Browns taking? Who the Steelers taking? And like, so I you know, you're able to kind of go in anonymity. It's kind of nice. But I think that Friday, that was like that fleece was kind of like a little bit of a giveaway, and it invited, you know, more questions than the day before. And so it was, you know, the people were incredible. They were so nice and pleasant and polite and courteous. You know, that's what it is, except for this one guy, you know, in the afternoon. I brought my cousin who just turned 65 he turned 65 on Wednesday. He retired from 40 years as a pediatrician, and he's a huge golf fan. He always wanted to go. So I got him a ticket for Friday, and he came, and we're walking around all day together. We started out 8:30 in the morning, and no phone, and it was like the people were so nice and gracious all day, and then it must have been like, I don't know, 3 o'clock around hole 6. We're walking off, and some 20-something-year-old kid, he might have been 18, he might have been 22, probably 20, you know, comes charging at me. Shefty. I turn, yeah. Did you hear about the humongous NFL trade? And I go, what? And he goes, humongous NFL trade. And honestly, my heart dropped to my stomach, because you're on this course, you know, you're kind of naked and exposed. Like, you know, what if, you know, the Titans traded the number 1 pick for 18 picks? You know, I don't know. And I guess it's not a big deal, but the guy like startled me and scared the crap out of me. And he goes, I was only joking. And I turned to my cousin, I go, what do you think of that? He goes, that guy was obnoxious. I go, yeah, I thought so too.
Do you have to tell your bosses, people associated with NFL Live and all that, okay, I'm out of pocket for this many hours. Just know that I will not have access. You won't be able to get a hold of me. Do you, in your mind, set a time limit for you to be out of pocket without your phone? How does that work this time of year?
It's an unpleasant thing. You know, here's the thing. Like, honestly, like my life revolves around my job. So, I almost never do anything for myself. And so when I was invited to go to the Master, I love that. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go for a couple of days. And Thursday I wasn't, I kind of limited my time away. I think I got there at 10 o'clock and I left at 3. So it was 5 hours. I didn't stay as long as I could. And I knew Friday was going to be a long day with my cousin, early in the morning till later in the day. And so, I would say this, that, the one thing I was overly concerned about was Aaron Rodgers. And I checked, before I went on the course both days, okay, any sign that it's coming today? And, with him, you just never know. So I didn't get the sense that it was happening or that it wasn't happening. But I did, make calls that morning before I left for the course. And obviously before I left for the course Friday, Joe Flacco got his deal done with Cleveland, so I certainly was grateful that he would do that deal before 9 a.m.
Shefty, I want to start in New Orleans with you because kind of got a two-parter when it comes to their quarterback situation now moving forward. Where did this Derek Carr injury come from? When did that happen? And what are your?
I tell you that. There's a lot of intrigue, mystery, and suspicions surrounding this whole situation. That's what I could say right now.
Okay.
There isn't clarity. There's a lot of people saying a lot of things behind the scenes. Nobody's talking about it. Team hasn't returned the calls. Agent hasn't returned the calls. So I can't give you a definitive black and white answer. Here's what's going on because, frankly, I don't know. Okay. There are a lot of people that have their own ideas, but it would be wrong to float some of those ideas at this time, being that I don't have the truth and I don't know the truth. But I have some senses and some inclinations about what I think might or might not be going on.
Okay. So one of your colleagues at ESPN, Louis Riddick, threw out a tweet that I believe said something to the likes of, hey, that 9th pick will get interesting. That got quote tweeted by one Deion Sanders with the eyeball emojis. Do you have a feel on New Orleans and maybe their interest in Shedeur Sanders now that this Derek Carr situation is on their plates?
Yeah. Well, I think that's a fair conclusion to make. I would understand why Lewis would tweet that and Deion would, respond to it and all that. But the fact of the matter is we didn't need Derek Carr's injury to make the pick any more interesting. The pick already was interesting because I don't know that they ever, Derek Carr, had an interest in moving on. They were trying to figure out the contract. There were questions about his future to begin with during the offseason. It's not like all of a sudden they were planning to build their franchise around Derek Carr for years to come. So I don't know that anything much changed at 9. But it certainly seems like, I think what's more accurate is it makes the Saints' search for a quarterback in this draft more interesting. But I don't think that it makes them any more likely at number 9 to take a quarterback than they already were. I don't.
Are you kind of in the mode of, and I know this is all a guess still, but maybe it's an educated guess, that if Shedeur falls past 3, that his fall could be decent, like that he could get outside the top 20?
I personally see Shedeur going somewhere between 3 and 21. That's my own sense of things. He could go as high as 3 to the Giants. He could go as low as 21 to the Steelers. It's hard for me to imagine that we would get through 3, get through the area between those 2 picks, in which nobody would trade up, and then get through 21, and that he still would be on the board at 22. That would surprise me. By the way, it could happen. It could. But that would surprise me based on the conversations I've had.
What's your quick take on, because I know we've all kind of been locked in. Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, that's the most intriguing thing about this whole, okay, where's he going in that range?
Well, that's why we did bring up 9. to the Saints, and then that's why I mentioned outside the top 20 because Pittsburgh's picking 21.
Yeah, I know the Saints are a common team to be linked to him. Me personally, I have questions about whether he would go there right now. I do.
What's your quick take on Travis Hunter, who we think the Browns are definitely in on, kind of throwing out this, I want to play both sides of the ball, and if not, maybe I'm not interested in playing.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think it's tough. Like, well, so Travis, we're only going to play you at this, and you're not going to play? Like, come on. It's just, it's got to talk to whoever he's drafted, and everybody's got to be on the same page. You don't see too many players play both ways. It's rare. He certainly is talented enough to do it. But that's just, talking through with whoever's picking you and seeing the plan. Let's see who picks him. Let's see the plan they have in place for him. I think that whoever takes him is going to want him to play as much and wherever he can. Maybe more cornerback than receiver, or maybe more receiver than cornerback. But I would think they're going to use him as much as they possibly can. Why wouldn't you? He's a weapon.
Yeah, no doubt. Real quick, Shefty, how much should we be reading into the Giants working out all of these quarterbacks? Is that them just doing their due diligence, or are you hearing anything about them maybe going away from Abdul Carter, maybe going with a quarterback at 3?
It's a question of the draft, right? Whether they're going to go. I spoke to one person yesterday. They're like, I'm telling you, they're taking Shedeur at 3. I'm like, great. Spoke to another person today. They're like, they're not taking Shedeur at 3. I've got people that are, feel very strongly both ways, and it's up to all of us to kind of cipher through it or decipher it all and try to figure out what's real and what's not, and only the Giants know. And by the way, I think that I don't know if their decision's final now anyway, and it might depend on how the private workout in Boulder goes. I mean, that could absolutely happen. And Louis Riddick told a story this morning on Get Up when he was with the Washington front office in the early 2000s, and they spent the entire draft process, building their board, and the number one player on their board was Kellen Winslow Jr., the tight end. He was the number one player on Washington's board. And then the night before the draft, they had meetings that went late, and somewhere between that late meeting and the next morning, somebody in Washington, for the first time in weeks, switched the top player on their board from Kellen Winslow Jr. to Sean Taylor. Now, that happened literally the morning of the draft.
Wow.
So I say that as an example of these things are fluid. They change. Like I bounced around on Cleveland because you know what? I think the Browns have bounced around. And people are like, you've been all over the board. Well, yeah. They wanted a quarterback. They wanted Cam Ward. And then it became apparent that Tennessee was taking him. And then it certainly looked like Abdul Carter was in play because they were talking about playing him with Myles Garrett. And the owners went to the pro day in Penn State, met with him the night before, had dinner with him. They met with him. There was a lot of time with the owners. That's rare. And it certainly seemed like that. But now it seems like Travis Hunter. And, oh, by the way, I was on the phone with somebody yesterday, and they go, I'm just telling you, Cleveland's not taking Travis Hunter. I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, now, is that real? I don't know. So are we allowed to modify what we think for the Browns again? This is a fluid process. This is a moving target. Teams change their minds. It's not black and white. Where they're at on January 1st is the same spot they're in February 1st or March 1st or April 1st. These things change, and you're just doing your best to gather the most relevant information to what a team may or may not be thinking at a particular time. And then that's what's great about the draft. The moment of truth comes. Yeah. There's no more lying. There's no more changing. There's no more, moving off this position. Time to turn in the card. Let's see what you got.
Well, we'll see what you got next Wednesday, the day before, my man. Thanks for all this. Be well. Get back to that phone, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Have a great day.
You too. Great story. Senior NFL insider Adam Schefter, the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. All right, up next, little fake chatter or Colorado bias. We'll examine Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, I think I saw a fox on my way in.
Oh, that was the Carfax Carfox. He was congratulating us on our Carfax Top-Rated Service Center Award.
I have always rated Tire Discounters at the very top.
Oh, thanks. So does Carfax. And not just for tires, but for all our services, too.
Alignment, brakes, shocks and struts, and more.
Yes, sir.
But, Mike, do you think people believe Carfax over me?
Well, you are the Phantom tire buyer.
Exactly.
At Meijer, we work hard to bring more locally grown goodness to life with a farm-fresh selection of crisp vegetables and juicy, ready-to-eat fruit. Whether topping off kebabs on the grill or adding healthy color to a leafy green salad, your family will definitely enjoy the delicious taste of Meijer produce. Plus, you'll appreciate the selection and savings we have to offer. That's the fresh-picked good life, priced for real life. We work hard to make life a good deal better at Meijer.
He opens his toolbox before he opens his wallet and believes you can fix anything with 20 minutes and some pride. He's Mr. DIY, and when he needs metal, he goes to metal supermarkets. Artists, hobbyists, machine shops, maintenance professionals, and welders all count on metal supermarkets for over 8,000 metal products, shapes, and grades. If it's metal, they've got it or can get it for you. Cut to any size and ready fast. Visit the family-owned franchise on North Wilson Road or Columbus at metalsupermarkets.com.
The great thing about Atlas Butler is they do it all. Heating, cooling, plumbing. Look, I'm busy with work. I don't have time to wait around or deal with lots of people. One company, one call, and they do it all. Wonder if they'll clean out my inbox. Seriously, offer that service. Please.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Montana, Bettis, Horning, and Brown, some of the greatest of all time, kicked off their careers in South Bend. You can celebrate Notre Dame football's impact on the professional game by visiting the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton to experience Gold Helmet to Gold Jacket now through April 27th. And register to win our grand prize at 971thefan.com/Gold Jacket. One winner will receive 2 tickets to the Hall of Fame game, enshrinement ceremony, and the Hall of Fame Museum. That's 971thefan.com/Gold Jacket.
I can't wait to meet her. Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! It's full Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor!
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me! Marry me or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
It's the last game of the season for the Jackets as they battle the Islanders at Nationwide. Live fan coverage starts Thursday at 6:30.
Sponsored by Atlas Butler Heating and Cooling.
Your home for Blue Jackets hockey, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMSS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Their live golf team name is Ice Dogs. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, guys, talking to you, men over 40, struggling with low energy, not feeling like yourself. Low T Centers testosterone replacement therapy may be the solution. Get started today. It's very easy. All you have to do is visit one of their conveniently located clinics, but even easier than that, just hop on and make your appointment. lowtcenter.com. And this April only, the consultation is free. Treatment is tailor-made just for you. It's covered by most major insurance. You can get treated at a center or at home. There's no reason to wait anymore. Book that appointment now. LowTCenter.com. It is the place. They have the experts. They've been doing this for more than a decade. They'll optimize it for you. It's not a standard dosage. You're not just a number. You are a person. They will help guide you through the process. If you're a current patient and you refer a new one, Low T Center will offer you a $150 referral credit. So there's a lot to this, and it's so easy to get in there and get your energy back and your motivation and your drive and just feeling better. Do it today, lowtcenter.com. All right, so want to hear from Joel Klatt, Maddie?
Yeah, I love hearing from Joel. One of my favorite analysts in the game. I love Joel.
So pointed out last time that he was on, that we aired some of his stuff, that clearly he's got an affection for Colorado, his alma mater, and Hunter and Shador. And so you just kind of take that with a grain of salt. I'm not calling it out. I'm just saying you got to put as much context into this as possible. And he talked about possibly this time of year, and this may not be news to anybody, that don't believe everything you hear. You just heard Schefter not really wanting to go into the Derek Carr stuff because there's a lot of fishy stuff that maybe that he wants out, that he wasn't willing to want to, that the shoulder injury was just part of it. Now he wants out. Schefter obviously wasn't putting his name on that. I'm doing that. It's just telling you what is out there. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But here's Klatt on the potential quarterback chatter that's out there for the draft.
The Athletic was reporting, I'm sure you've heard, that there's like real, I think the words were real chatter, which is funny. Real chatter, I think among scouts, that Jackson Dart, the Ole Miss quarterback, could go before Shador. What do you make of that real chatter?
I respectfully disagree with that real chatter, and I would categorize it as fake chatter. There is a decent gap between the top two quarterbacks and then where Jackson Dart is. Not to take anything away from Jackson Dart. I really love him as a leader. I love he's going to succeed in the National Football League. I truly believe that. But it's way harder to project him because of his offense. Again, scripted winners, quick throws. Very few times is he asked to just sit there and control the game from the pocket. And granted, I'll give you this, that's most college quarterbacks, but that's certainly the case in a Lane Kiffin offense, which is why Lane can sit there with his hands up and be like, oh, touchdown. He knows where the ball is going. There's a lot of pre-snap decisions that are made by the quarterback, which is going to present a steeper learning curve for Jackson as he enters the league. Good player, really good player. I would love him on my team if I was a fan of any team in the National Football League, but there is a gap between him and the top two quarterbacks.
I think that's pretty real talk there. I don't think that was Colorado bias. I think that was real talk for a guy that's 6'2", 2.25. His accuracy is kind of streaky, but he's exactly right, Maddie. Coming from Lane Kiffin's offense to the NFL, it's going to be a big jump there, and so I think he kind of leaned into, he's got some interesting tools to work with, but he's not as ready-made as Shador.
Joel's not the only person I've heard say that. A lot of people out there are saying right now that the top two quarterbacks are Cam Ward and Shador, and then you start to get into a lot of weird takes out there. Maybe not weird's not the right word to use because people believe in their takes, and I respect that, but I've seen people say Dylan Gabriel's QB3, Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe, Will Howard, and so when you get past those top two guys, people see things differently, as they should. Jackson Dart, no doubt, is a good prospect, but what he said about their offense, I'm not going to ignore because Joel knows what it takes to play that position and calling these games and talking to these coaches about how they run their offense. He knows the ins and outs of those, and that can be a challenge for a quarterback, right? When you're coming from that collegiate program where you've got that safety net around you with play calling and, hey, this is where you're going to go with the ball because I drew this up perfectly. It usually doesn't happen in the NFL. You got to go through your progressions and all those things. So that's something Jackson Dart is going to have to overcome in time. I don't hear that take and think, hey, he's just trying to hold things down for Shador Sanders because they both went to Colorado. I think it's a real take, and I'm here for it.
All right, you'll be here for Dante Fabro next after a SportsCenter update, and we'll dive into that CBJ room. They need help, but if they get it, Thursday could be incredible. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
Here's a quick 10-second reminder that the Buckeyes have won the Natty. Also, we air all the games, and we always will. Thank you. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free Healthy Leg Screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-324-VEIN. That's 614-324-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Your home is more than just four walls and a roof. It's where life happens, where memories are made, where family gathers, and where you should feel safe. At Newman Roofing, we know that when it's time for a new roof, you want to feel confident that you've hired the right company. One that will install a quality roof and complete the work as promised. But with so many roofing companies out there, how do you know which one to trust? For over 30 years, Newman Roofing has helped more than 7,500 families protect their homes with quality roofing, gutters, and siding. We believe you deserve a company that provides a white glove customer experience, one that pays attention to every detail and treats your home like it's our own. At Newman Roofing, we're not just another roofing company. We're a family-built business that stands behind our work. So when it's time to replace your roof, don't settle for uncertainty. Choose the local family with a reputation for excellence. Choose the company you can trust. Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit us online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. April's a great time to spruce up around your house, like getting rid of those old, ugly, drafty, hard-to-open windows and starting fresh. Especially during Window Nation's Buy 4, Get 4 free sale going on now. There's no limit to how much you can save, and if you buy a house full of windows, they'll include a free entry door, too. Plus, with 0% financing, 0 down, and no monthly payments, you could get new windows and pay nothing until 2027. How do they do it? Well, Window Nation partners with the top window manufacturers in the nation to build windows to their high-quality specs. Then they pass the savings on to you. You'll protect your home with some of the best windows you can buy at a fraction of the price of those other brands. Just imagine what you could do with all that extra money. Hurry, the sale ends soon, so don't miss your chance to take advantage of the Buy 4, Get 4 free and pay nothing until 2027. Schedule your estimate right now at 866-90NATION or visit windownation.com. One more time, that's Buy 4, Get 4 free from Window Nation, 866-90NATION or windownation.com.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Quiet down. Here she comes. Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Nia.
Hi, Nia. It's Jennifer. Did you know that Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, I work here.
Okay. I was just double checking. Get it?
Because Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, you get me, Nia.
You could say that I double get you.
I guess we've taken it too far.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. The Cincinnati Reds have won 4 straight. They'll look to make it 5 in a row when they host the Seattle Mariners tonight at 6:40. Nick Martinez gets the start for Cincinnati against Bryce Miller. You can hear it in its entirety over on ESPN Columbus. We will join that game in progress at 8 here on The Fan immediately following the Buckeye Show. At 6:35 tonight, the Guardians continue their series in Baltimore against the Orioles. Gavin Williams heads to the mound for Cleveland opposite Dean Kramer. Over at Huntington Park tonight, the Columbus Clippers taking on the Louisville Bats at 6:15. Some transfer portal news for Ohio State. Punter Anthony Vaneri and walk-on receiver Reese Stocksdale have entered the transfer portal. This one's sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Enjoy rates lower than the national average, plus a special rate on balance transfers with a Visa Platinum or Visa Rewards credit card.
You'd think that dog conversation wouldn't necessarily blend with hockey talk. And you'd be wrong. You idiots! Like a fine wine and dark chocolate, it's going down smooth. Rothman and Ice present Hockey and Hounds.
Sponsored by Telhio Credit Union. If you know Telhio Choice Checking, you know all the perks that come with your account. Find the checking account that fits your needs at telhio.org.
All righty. Special treat. Notched his 8th goal of the season, unleashed a rocket of a slapper. By the way, he was 50-1 to score the game's first goal last night. He's even money to join us now here on Rothman and Ice. Anthony Rothman, Matty Ace Hayes, we welcome on Dante Fabro. Fabs, good to have you, man. How you feeling?
I'm doing well, thanks. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, describe this. Before we go to last night, paint me a scenario. Are you a guy that's absolutely locked into the game tonight? You'll watch the Habs and Canes. You'll just keep an eye on it on your phone. You'll let somebody else tell you what's going on. What is the scenario?
No, I'll definitely be paced on my couch tonight, watching the game, and taking a peek from the couch for sure.
All right, describe this feeling. You guys have been in must-win mode for a while now. You still don't actually control your own destiny, but do you feel like there is a little destiny attached to you guys right now?
Yeah, I mean, we've obviously put ourselves in a good spot right now to keep our hopes alive, and that's all we really wanted, is to put ourselves in a position to continue to try to make playoffs here. And we played some really good hockey down this stretch, and obviously see what happens tonight. But we still got one more game left to go out there and win.
One of the really good things going on right now, Dante, as you know, is what you guys are getting from Jet Greaves, and it's just such an important thing to have goaltending be a consistent thing all year round, but especially when you need it most, like you guys do right now. Just talk about what Jet is providing for you guys night in and night out at the moment.
Yeah, Jet's played outstanding. I think, you look at his last little stretch here, and just how poised he is with making saves under pressure, and the big time saves when we need it has been obviously awesome for us. And I think as a D-man, we appreciate goalies who can play the puck really well, and so he's been doing awesome, and we're just trying to make it as easy as possible for him out there, and allowing him to see the puck, and allowing him to be free and play his game.
No doubt. I mean, it's almost pretty amazing, isn't it? Right? I mean, to go to this guy and tap him and have him play right away and have the weight of the world on his shoulders, but he was locked in last night because there were a couple times early on you guys had to kill off a penalty. And I think, you may have even been poke checked, I think, early in the third, and then he's there again. And so you just kind of turn around and you're probably like going, thanks, Jet. You're the man. Like that, it has that feeling to it. And so you just kind of ride that momentum. I heard Coach Everson say last night the guys are just feeding off everybody. So describe what that room is like right now.
I mean, the room is definitely, extremely positive. I think, you've looked at our season so far, and the highs and lows of the year, and no matter, if guys been hurt or in the lineup, it seems that, anytime anybody gets that call to play, it's they're stepping up to the plate and contributing huge to our team's success. So I think it's a big credit, like Dino had said, that, everyone's stepping up and everyone's rising to the occasion, and we're playing together as a team, which is most important, and we're having fun doing it. So it's been a lot of fun, but obviously the work isn't over right now, and we're all eyes are locked onto the TV tonight.
One of the guys that's been stepping up all year for you guys is Zach Werenski, and we had the pleasure of talking to him on Hockey and Hounds throughout the season. But this guy right now just seems, Dante, to be playing at the highest level he's ever played at. He's always been a good player, as you know, but this year, just being out there on the ice with Z in the locker room with him, just talk about the focus you've seen from him and how he's been able to go out there and execute the way he has this season.
Yeah, for myself, you only, not being on the same team as he, originally, you always hear about him and you play against him, and you never get to really understand how good somebody is until you get to see them day in, day out. And, for myself and getting to be partnered up with him and seeing what he does on a day-to-day basis, around the rink and, with the guys is pretty incredible. I think, the numbers he's putting up this year, the way he's playing, the way he's leading on and off the ice is pretty incredible. And he's definitely, a big part of this team and will continue to do so. And he's a big time player. So anytime, his number's called, he does some pretty special things out there. And, for myself, being partnered with him, I think, the best thing I can do is to try to free him up to create some offense. So, he's been doing that all year by himself and obviously with, just within our team structure and everything, but he's a pretty special player and he's of course, a lot of fun to watch.
CBJ defenseman Dante Fabro with us here on Hockey and Hounds, brought to you by Telehire Credit Union. Almost 21 minutes of ice time last night, got the game's first goal. And certainly you've been through this before with Nashville. You've kind of been in pressure games before. You're a Terrier. You know what it's like to play big-time hockey. But does this feel different at all to you? This team, so unexpected, overachieving, maybe left for dead at the beginning of the season, not really having any real true playoff expectations. Then you come out of the Stadium Series and all of a sudden, oh, wow, they should make it. And then you dip again. Like, you've been through some of this before, but can you relate to any of it? Does this feel different?
Yeah, I mean, just like you said, I think a couple of years ago we were going through this kind of exact same thing. And but yeah, I would definitely say it feels different. Just the feeling in the locker room, the buzz around the city and with how we're playing right now is pretty amazing. I can't obviously thank the fans enough and how supportive they've been with us all season long, and we're trying to do it for them and try to make playoffs for them. And it's just been a ton of fun this year, and again, it would just be the cherry on top if we were able to obviously get in there with this last push we've been trying to obviously accomplish.
Can you talk a little bit about the coaching staff, obviously starting with Coach Dean, and what those guys have been able to do for you and your teammates throughout not only this stretch run, but the entire season, and putting you guys in position to win night in and night out? Just talk about the staff and what they've been able to do to help you as a player, but your teammates as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize, how much goes on behind the scenes and how hard they work to prepare us each and every night. And, so it's obviously a big credit to them and getting the pre-scouts ready and getting our systems ready in order to, face, different teams each and every night. So, but I just think they're, the way they go about things is extremely professional, and, everyone is, willing to go out there and play hard for each and every one. And, that's a big credit to those guys and, the culture they've built and the willingness to, sacrifice for the team. And, it's just been, like I said, I can't say enough great things about, what's been going on this year and the buzz with the team. But, again, it would be that much more special if, we could get in.
Dante Fabro with us. I know you're a dog guy yourself here on Hockey and Hounds. Like I said, a former Terrier as well, so that's cool. So we always showcase an adoptable, a shelter, a rescue dog. We've had great success here on the program of reaching someone who might be in the position to take a dog into their home. You know the commitment it takes and the love and everything they give back, and it's probably the coolest relationship you'll ever have And powellpaws.org is the organization I want to showcase here with you now. So Powell Animal Welfare Society is, like a lot of them, Dante, all volunteer, foster-based dog rescue here in Columbus. It's not like a brick-and-mortar type shelter where you walk in. It's just people that have real lives, real jobs, and they've taken these dogs into their home, and they know that to keep the cycle going, that they just want to foster and hopefully get that dog to a forever home. So the dog I'm going to highlight today from Powell Animal Welfare Society is Van, which I love the name. Van's Foster he's a Border Collie mix, by the way, and he is awesome. He's a little over a year old. The foster has had him for about a year. He's super sweet, loves to play, especially fetching stuff. Super smart because he's a Border Collie mix and learns really quickly. People that have Border Collies, and I've had friends that have had them, so they're a little higher energy. So I'd advise best for somebody that could spend a lot of time playing with him. That's what they live for. And they also love to learn, or he loves to learn. So I think he'd be a great dog for someone wanting to do like agility or sports or even running, jogging, whatever. They just love to get out. So Van is our dog. I'll tweet him out, powellpaws.org, if people want to jump on that site, powellpaws.org, and check out Van, or Van's Not Your Fit. They have many other dogs that are being fostered. And they are the lifeblood of the rescue organization, of just the world of rescue, which is fostering. Because there are very few people, because the bond. The bond happens so quickly. And then to be able to move on from a dog that you've been helping, you got to be a pretty special part of the equation. So Van's being fostered. We want to get him into a forever home. So if people are interested, powellpaws.org is the place.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is truly amazing. I've obviously fortunate enough I got a dog a couple of years ago. Never grew up with dogs, but for myself, I think just to having that best friend coming home, always got a smile. He smiles at me when I come through the door and wags his tail and jumps around. So for people who are looking for dogs, I think getting a rescue dog is a great place to look. And I've enjoyed every second of it. Obviously, my guy's still in Nashville, but looking forward to seeing him when he does come up. And it's just it's an amazing thing to have, an amazing bond to have.
Good for you, man. Thanks for sharing that, and thanks for making time for us. And I know you're not allowing yourself to think about Thursday just yet, but I hope you can get there tonight around 9:30 or 10 o'clock. You can advance your mind to it, and we'll be pulling for you. Thanks a lot, Dante.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, guys.
There he goes. Fabs has been fabulous. He was last night with the first goal. Telhire Credit Union, the big sponsor of Hockey and Hounds every week, all season long. A commitment that stands the test of time. Telhire Credit Union celebrating 90 years of community-focused banking. Join Telhire and experience the decades of expertise in your financial journey. We will come back with ins and outs next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Spring forward, Columbus, with the Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling Services. We're here to thaw you out with this limited time offer. Get up to $2,000 off a new complete furnace and AC system. This offer is too good to pass up. The Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling now together to serve you better with $2,000 off a new complete furnace and AC system. This offer won't last. Call us today, 614-232-2222. That's 614-232-2222.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
It's Lindsay's one and only trade-a-thon.
We'll trade for anything. Plus, give you $1,000 more for your trade. Choose a 2025 Honda Ridgeline RTL or an all-wheel drive HRV LX or a CRV LX and pay just $299 a month. 3 models with one very low Lindsay price.
Trade up to the reliability of a new or certified Honda.
So lock in your price today. The one and only Lindsay Honda Trade-a-thon is back.
See lindsayhonda.com for details.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, three-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, two-time national football champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining Life Search to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to lifesearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. Life Search featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit lifesearch.com today.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Anthony Rothman here for Tel-Ohio. Tel-Ohio Credit Union has been financing dreams and fueling the local economy for 90 years. And as the #1 SBA lender among Ohio credit unions, learn why more than 3,000 business owners trust Tel-Ohio. Visit telohio.org/business.
We at The Fan have created a show where you can be a homer, a hater, or whatever you want to be. Your family may not listen to you, but we will. Sundays at 11, it's The Fan Call-In Show presented by ESPN Bet at Hollywood Casino Columbus. You're welcome.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 26th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
Hey there, I'm Brad. I'm about to win the Tuesday Night Bowling League Championship. I'm also a highway worker for the Ohio Department of Transportation. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can bowl the winning strike with my buddies.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. Remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Brought to you by ODOT, USDOT, NHTSA, and ODPS.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Great weather this afternoon as sunshine continues across the region. Temperatures in the mid-50s will drop to near freezing by early Thursday as frosty conditions are expected under clear skies. Mid-60s Thursday afternoon. Small rain chance Thursday night. Dry during the day Friday. High near 80. Shower and storm chances return into the weekend. That's your latest 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present In or Out.
Just a little of the old in and out.
Indeed, a little bit of the old in and out. The loose cannon special. How are we feeling in there? Wearing that Steelers winter cap that lights up and all that good stuff?
Oh, it feels cold.
We've got that Lindenwood hoodie going on today. All right, so what do you got prepared?
Well, this one was unprepared, but
okay, I like
this is what happens when you scroll through X in the commercial break. So someone put together...
You know how we do the show then.
Uh-huh. Someone put together... They started a thread that everyone's jumping in on saying, start a fight with one sports take. Kyle Hamilton, who is your guy in Baltimore and my guy who played in South Bend, he says, the Super Bowl should not be a neutral site game, or it should be in the same city every year, such as the College World Series, the Masters, and Wimbledon. Are you in or out on either a non-neutral site game, which I guess would have to be based on regular season records, if you go AFC, NFC, or every single year it's the same city?
So, just for example, if we had the Super Bowl every year in Jerry's World, just never moves.
I'm out on that.
It's always at that venue.
We do enough in Dallas.
Well, it'll never happen because they have to constantly reward these cities for building new stadiums.
All right. Just play along with the
No,
idea.
I'm not trying to. I'm just saying that I'm trying to wrap my mind around, like, so the two options are we play it in the same city, or it's home field advantage.
Mm-hmm.
I would lean
home field in a Super Bowl.
So you're saying the one seed from the AFC, one seed from the NFC, who has the better overall record would get.
So basically, if Philly played Buffalo in the Super Bowl this year, it would be in Philly.
It would be in
because
Philly.
they had one more win.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
I guess so.
I don't love that. I don't love that. I'm out on that, but I'm also out on the Super Bowl being at one site every year because you and I go to the Super Bowl every year.
No, those are the
and I don't want to go to the same city.
You know what? I'm out on this now.
Play along. Just play along.
Yeah.
You can't change the question. Play along.
But for personal reasons, I don't want it to be at one venue.
Okay, I'm with you. I think I'd like. The only thing it would do, guys, is it would maybe prevent some sort of shenanigans late about resting players and all that if you felt you needed those games to secure home field throughout, not just your conference, but the Super Bowl. If you were fighting like the way the Eagles and the Bills were fighting last year, even your Ravens. What am I talking about? It would have been the Lions. I just put the Eagles in there because they want to be in the Super Bowl, but it was the Lions. The Lions made the Super Bowl under your scenario. They would have hosted in Detroit. That would have been incredible. A team that's never been there, they get there and get to host. I'm kind of wrapping my mind around the idea of
you're leaning that
forget
way?
about home field throughout conferences. If you're the best team in the NFL, maybe, and you get all the way there. But what happens if you get upset? Well, then I guess we just go to the other team.
Yeah.
I'm kind of liking that a little bit. I know where Maddie's going with this because we want to be in Santa Clara next year. But
and the year after that, it's in Cali too, isn't it? Somewhere
back to LA.
Did we see that when we were out there? Why do I think it's back-to-back Cali Super Bowls? Or is there a Vegas in there again?
No, I don't think there's a Vegas. I think there's is there a Phoenix in there? Let's see.
It's somewhere on the left coast, I believe.
I'll give it to you right now, Maddie.
Here we go.
We go to Santa Clara
next year,
and then we are back in LA.
Okay, I thought so.
And then we're back. Then we're in Atlanta.
Hot Atlanta, where the players play, baby.
All they have.
Okay,
those three are lined up, and then
here for all three.
Eventually, we'll be in Brook Park, and we'll be driving.
No doubt.
Deshaun Foster, I can't find you fast enough, so we got to move on. All right.
Oh, you were going for the L.A.?
I was looking.
Okay.
I'll find it and play it late. I don't even care. Are you in or out on having two different transfer windows, or should it just be one?
I like one. Where I want that one, I'm not sure right now, but the portal opening up prior to bowl season, if we're talking specifically college football, I can't rock with that. I think that really just throws things off. There needs to be one window, in my opinion, that gives these programs, coaches, and players a clean window of time, if you will, to get things in order. So I'm out on having two transfer portal windows. I think we need one.
We're in LA.
Oh, you didn't care.
Feels so bad.
Yeah, the two transfer windows is interesting. The one following the regular season, the one following spring ball. It feels like
the one after spring ball makes sense,
okay,
right? Yeah.
And not after, because the teams that are in the playoffs and they're worried about transfer. We just saw it in basketball where Izzo was talking about it. Like, what are you going to do? This guy might.
Well, Penn State lost their backup.
I'm still in it. Like,
Right.
I got to focus on my team.
Yeah.
So I'm into the one after the spring. Find out where you kind of stand. Gives everybody a chance to reset.
Are you in or out on the existence of the NBA play-in games, let alone are you in or out on watching them? Because I did not know that started last night.
Well, if you paid attention in Bet365,
I got things going on
over there.
Things going on.
Yeah, there's not a whole bunch of intrigue for me. Like, the matchups last night were good, though. The second matchup, at least, was really good. When you get the Warriors in Memphis tonight, you get
Bulls
the
Heat.
That's doing nothing for me. Like that's doing nothing for me. Dallas, Sacramento also not doing nothing for me. What the league needs is what they had a couple years ago. The last few years, I believe, was LeBron and Steph going at it in the play-in. But yeah, just wake me up when the playoffs actually start, because a lot of times you have teams that are in this play-in scenario that really probably don't even deserve to have playoff opportunities. So I'm pretty much out on it.
Yeah, I'm out on it too. I find it similar to the play-in games for the NCAA slightly.
Yeah.
Those are one and done.
Got that type of energy.
Yep.
All right. Are you in or out on betting with or betting against your favorite team in a big game, or possibly another game that may impact your favorite team, such as this evening?
So I say I'm into it, but I'm really not when push comes to shove. I have a hard time doing it. I have a hard time pressing that button, betting on a team against my own, or that. Like, I feel like I know it's counterintuitive because I always talk about the mental hedge, and that is real. There's a little bit of purity for me in it if it's a game that really matters, like that Eagles-Vikings game from years ago, that I easily could have bet the Eagles and gotten points, and I didn't do it. So I'm into the mental hedge. I think I can find my win. If it's not a game that I massively care about, like tonight, I think what he's getting at here is you want the Hurricanes to win, so you're saying go ahead and bet the Canadians and get paid for your disappointment.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's a hard bet to make. I talk about it like it's easy, but it's hard to make. When you have money riding on a team that you don't want to win, it's a wild ride, Matty.
Yeah, anytime
keep your hands inside.
Anytime I have any type of confidence in my teams, and I'm like, okay, you know what, I'm going to bet on them to succeed or continue to win, or this player is going to stay hot, so I'm betting on it. It goes the other way every time. So I stay away from it, baby Chet, as much as I possibly can.
I tend to do it in a tease mode, where I'll parlay, like I'll bet Montreal tonight, and maybe change, the puck line to like plus 2.5 and try to pair it with something. And that way maybe I can get both done. But straight mental hedge, putting a lot of money on the Canadians tonight, bad vibe. Can't do it.
And lastly, are you in or out on colleges hiring celebrity coaches who have been spending their time recently coaching high school? For example, Florida Atlantic just hired Charlie Ward as their head basketball coach.
I guess I'm out on it. Doesn't really move the needle either way for me. It really doesn't. Like Charlie Ward at FAU, the story's going to fade away. We probably won't be talking much about it. I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to get, obviously, some traction there with said big name and getting tickets and hopefully recruiting and all that stuff. Like, I get what they're trying to do, but for me personally, it just doesn't move the needle. I'm out.
It feels like this would be something you would do before NIL. And now that NIL is here, I'm not really sure that anything moves the needle except that cold, hard cash. All right, those are your ins and outs for today. We're going to come back with our man, BC, Bobby Carpenter from the Morning Juice. You know what we'll get his feeling on, speaking of NIL? The Nico sweepstakes and whether anybody's going to buy in. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, millions of men experience ED, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. At HIMSS, our own board-certified urologist, Dr. Peter Stahl, knows this better than anyone, and he knows that HIMSS can help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS.
Through HIMSS.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs. Options at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Chargers sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The best bet on the radio. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, welcome back. That time of the week, we go to a man that can rock the denim shorts with the best of them. And he is the one and only Bobby Carpenter from the Morning Juice. BC, my man, how we feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling good, Rothman. My question for you is, how good are you feeling when you threw a couple of shekels on the Jackets about 2 weeks ago at 70-1, and now they're sitting there at less than 3-1?
Yeah.
We got a cash out number on that, or are we going to let it ride?
I think we're going to let it ride. They were also 10-1 yesterday before their game last night, which was kind of weird for me because Montreal's in semi-Heimlich mode here, and
semi-Heimlich, Rothman, they've ingested so many pills right now. I mean, we're in a full stomach pump that they need tonight. I mean, you want to talk about this. If the Canes score first, I would love to be in that building just to feel that energy, baby. Oh, yeah.
Those fans walking in there tonight are edgy, man. They don't know how to feel. And you can talk about it as a player, and you can talk to us about it. You can tell yourself what you want to tell. You can say what you need to say to the media. But trying to manufacture that normal feeling or calm your mind or all that stuff that Montreal is going to try to do tonight, it only works when it works. I don't know how you can do it.
It's one thing for it to happen in a game where it's continuous, like if you're Duke or if you were Houston or whatever, and you've like given this thing away in the moment, in the present time. But when this has happened over like 8 to 10 days where you're thinking, imagine if like the Cavs would have choked it away to the Celtics and given the Celtics like the number 1 seed. Like you've got this massive lead and you're like, man, for them to catch us, they've got to win out and we need to just melt down. Well, now you're on the precipice of both of those things happening. And you've had a lot of time in between to think about it and you've got to talk about it. And it's like, well, tonight's the night. Tonight's the night. Well, all of a sudden, this is the night. This is it. This is all we've got. Okay? And so I can't even imagine if they go down. You want to talk about scramble mode and guys maybe trying to do too much and lean into things? Holy smokes.
Yeah. Be wild. Be absolutely wild, Bob. Let's get into the spring game. Never really want to go crazy, right, with some of the stuff that we see, but what was a takeaway or two that you had from seeing Ryan Day and the gang getting busy over there on Saturday?
Well, people were talking about the lack of pass rush. I think it's important to note that they played 3 coverages with 1 front the whole game. So some of the things they did just allowed some more passing yards, and it was a pretty easy read for some veteran guys. I know Tavian threw a couple picks, and he's a young guy. Like that's going to happen. But I thought both the quarterbacks played pretty well. I thought Julian outplayed Lincoln probably slightly in that game. Started a little faster. And people like to remember it's a 1-game sample size. It's a 1 of 15 practices, and they also weren't getting hit. So I think you could argue that Lincoln was outplaying Julian maybe when it was live, and that might matter more. Now, it wasn't in a spring game situation with fans, so you got to weigh all of that. Secondary looked really good. I think you've got some really good young pieces in there with what they're able to do. Lorenzo Styles, I thought, held up really well at inside on the slot corner there and did a good job. Most of those guys played well on the outside. I thought Logan George had good pressure off the edge. I think he probably would have had a couple sacks, if not hitting Julian as the ball is coming out. And so it's tough to kind of factor that in of like how that performance would have looked differently should that have been the case. Offensive line, good on the inside. Outside tackles, okay. Defensive line, better on the perimeter. Interior, they've got to find some things. I think they'll be K-Mac, Kayvon McDonald, and Edric Houston have to take that next step and be consistent And as Ryan had talked about, like, be the carry the water guys. And after that, I mean, whether it's Tywan Malone, Will Smith Jr., whoever it is, they've got to get some guys to step up or find some guys in the portal, whichever it's going to be, because they need to be better on the inside run.
Let me take you to your position group. And is this kid Peyton Pierce, how for real is he?
He's very good. And I think you're going to see a nice rotation of him, Arvell, and Sonny this year. And they're all kind of different in what they can do and what they do well. So it'll be up to James to try to figure out how to deploy them individually. But Peyton he's just a guy that's always around the football. And Arvell can do some things uniquely. Like, here's the thing. No one got a chance to really see how multiple this defense is and what they can do, and watching it practice, like there's a way to get all three of those guys on the field a lot, and they all deserve to play, and they all need to play for this team to be good, and just rolling through. And if you're a little short on the D-line, maybe that is an answer of how you kind of start getting more backers on the field and trying to get your best 11 out there. But Peyton has played really well. He's got a good nose for the football. He's a smart guy, and he's a really nice compliment to both Sonny and Arvell.
Let's go down to old Knoxville, because the Tennessee Vols.
What's going on down there?
Yeah, it's a lot happening. Like, where are you at with the decision that was made by Tennessee, what you've heard about? Because it sounds like his dad, his agent were really driving forces in this, and this started back in the winter. But just your thoughts, Bob, on this whole Nico situation right now.
So I always call it the asymmetric risk profile. When you're someone who's making the decisions, and we've seen it, guys, in all walks of life. Heck, you even see it at work, where someone who's making all the decisions doesn't have to bear the full consequence of those decisions. Like, you're going to be probably a little more aggressive in what you would recommend, because at the end of the day, like, how much it's affecting you some, but not a lot. And when that situation then goes wrong, it's like, okay, well, can I bail, or do I have other options? And so I understand people bringing up these cultural things to me and everything else with how, people work like this, when you're from, the islands and the Samoans and different things like that. And I get it, and I understand that. But at some point, like, you have to take control of your own life. And maybe Nico's dad is getting bad advice from his agent. Here's his agent. This is probably what he's telling him. Hey, listen, look at what they're paying down in Miami. Look at that whole situation down there. You can go get $4 million. You're worth it. Well, the reality is he was a good quarterback last year, not great. If he was Jaden Daniels coming back, yeah, dude, they'd pay him $4 million. They would have paid him $4 million after the season, but he was good, not great. And so you have the agent just pumping full of information probably here. I got other places snooping around, calling Dan Lanning. By the way, Dan calls Heupel, hey, this is what's going on. You know your guy's shopping, your girl's stepping out. She's calling me. Like, they're letting everybody know. So at Tennessee, you have no other option. You cannot bow to the whims of terrorists at that point. And that's what they were trying to do. They were extracting money at the last possible second. Heck, they tried to sit out before the playoff game. And, I mean, this has kind of happened other places. I know Rothman's probably familiar with, he's a big John Grisham fan, the Rainmaker. And now everybody's telling these stories and talking like, well, this is this. And listen, he agreed to he had $10 million coming out of high school, Maddie. They've held true to that deal. They paid him $2.5 million to sit on the sideline his freshman year. Okay? And so if you would have exceeded that deal, they probably would have paid you more. But number one, Tennessee, you can't do it for your locker room. Number two, maybe the boosters saying, forget about this. And hey, I think Tennessee probably made the safe bet, because there's no market for him. And he's going to be in a worse situation now moving forward as far as trying to improve his stock for the NFL draft. By the way, teams are waiting for him and say, hey, we'll take you for $1 million now. So you're going to go in there hat in hand and be like, hey, yeah, I'm sorry about this. Reality is he should probably go back to Tennessee and say, hey, I'll play for free. I just want to be in a good situation. I want to apologize to my teammates. If you guys want to pay me whatever, I'll take whatever. But I've royally screwed this thing up. Because he overplayed it, man. Yep. He bluffed. He pushed all in. Yep. Chick. Mm-hmm. All night he checked. And then, you know what? Bam. He got him. Sit there eating those Oreos all night. But I didn't have that kind of time, Rothman.
There's a scene in The Rainmaker where they're talking about law school.
Speaking of Matt Damon, by the way, just full circle with him.
Yeah. Like the first year of law school, everybody's like, they're studying the law. Law is a noble thing. We want to do it. Like your third year in law school, you're lucky you're not murdered in your sleep, he says, right?
Yeah.
They're stealing exams, hiding research materials from the library, lying to professors. It's kind of the nature of the profession right now in college sports is that everyone sees or they think they know what everyone else is getting. I'm with you. I didn't think he could go back. I just think they played it too far. And once they gave him the kiss off, I don't think going back was possible. But I know you're a player advocate too. You want these guys to get what they want.
Here's the thing. After the bowl game, after you got smoked by Ohio State, if you want to sit there and say, I'm worth more than this, and they say no, get in the portal and go get what you're worth. I have no problem with that. But trying to tell somebody the day before the spring game or the night before a game, I mean, that's not good faith negotiation. That's terrible.
Well, you're trying, his family or whoever, I don't know the exact details, but you're trying to leverage when you have the most. And I think that what happened is they saw that he helped deliver the Tennessee Volunteers a sniff of a playoff, which, by the way, they've not been great for a while. And I think they were trying to cash in. We're talking about Phil Fulmer type. 20 years ago, they haven't been this good, or at least feel they had something. And I think they tried to leverage it, and they leveraged back at him, and he got humbled, and now he's trying to find a place that'll pay him to play.
Well, when you try to get leveraged, Rothman, remember, if you sit on that fulcrum, it doesn't always feel all that good.
No, it doesn't.
Try to straddle in both sides, and sometimes you slip off the teeter-totter.
How do you know when a lawyer is lying? His lips are moving.
I think this may be an inflection point in here where this has kind of been going on, and people have been pressing. It's like, well, you know what? Stay in Alpena and be the news director.
I'm glad you remember that story.
Oh, I've told it 3 times, Rothman. This is the best analogy ever. You can tell it to Maddie after this, but it works better for this than anything else.
Absolutely. You the man. All right, buddy. Thanks for the visit as always. Be well.
Have a good one, guys.
Thanks. Bobby Carpenter from the Morning Juice. All right, so Maddie, a buddy of mine is leaving. We're both in the small little town. We're doing television together. Tiny little town in Michigan, northern Michigan, way up 90 miles south of Mackinac. And he leaves. He's got an interview in Rockford, Illinois, as a news reporter anchor. And he's trying to get a little more money out of him. And so he's sitting in with the general manager, and they're in negotiation. They're going to hire him. He's asking for a few $1,000 more. And he's like, hey, they're offering me the news director job where I am now, like a real upgrade from an anchor. Like he's going to be the news director job in Alpena, which is market 211.
Yeah.
He's interviewing in market 134. So he knows he wants to make this jump. And the GM looks at him and goes, well, then stay in Alpena and be the news director. And he knew right there and then, okay, I'm not getting anything. Like he knew, like the leverage went the other way.
Completely the other way.
All right, we're coming back with a Buckeye Bulletin next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic. Oh, yes. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Huntington is banking that just clicks. Like early pay. You could get paid up to 2 days faster and there's no cost. So stop playing the waiting game. Make the switch today at huntington.com/yourmoney. Direct deposit and eligibility requirements apply.
She's the heart of your home, the keeper of traditions, and the one who always puts everyone else first. And this spring, it's her turn. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. For over 78 years, we've offered unforgettable gifts for every milestone, big and small. Mother's Day, anniversaries, birthdays, and more. She deserves more than flowers. She deserves to sparkle. For jewelry that lasts a lifetime, visit Diamond Cellar on Salmo Road and at Easton Town Center. Or shop with us online at diamondcellar.com.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's going to audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Feeling unsure about preparing your roof for spring storms? Newman Roofing is here for you. For over 30 years, we've helped homeowners understand their roof's condition so they can make the best decision for their home. Stop worrying and call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit newmanroofing.com today. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman Roof.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, I think I saw a fox on my way in.
Oh, that was the Carfax Carfox. He was congratulating us on our Carfax Top-Rated Service Center Award.
I have always rated Tire Discounters at the very top.
Oh, thanks. So does Carfax. And not just for tires, but for all our services, too.
Alignment, brakes, shocks and struts, and more.
Yes, sir.
But, Mike, do you think people believe Carfax over me?
Well, you are the Phantom Tire buyer.
Exactly.
Hey, it's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place.
When you buy from Pella, you could meet Brad, Bob, maybe Mike, or 54 others that make our local Pella team so awesome.
And if you buy from me, you'll get to meet me.
Just a one-man operation, Wilson?
I've got a bunch of cousins helping me, but based on their work, I'm not sure they've got thumbs.
Get the window that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus at PellaColumbus.com.
If you miss a little, you'll miss a lot. Search for your favorite fan shows wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe. Every episode comes right to your phone absolutely free. Modern technology, it's a hell of a thing. Do it now. The Fan.
A Progressive Home and Auto Bundle can protect you round the clock, but we can't protect you from those painful moments in sports.
I can't believe they're moving the team to another city.
True, but you'll never forget all the joy they brought into your life.
Joy? They made the playoffs twice in 50 years.
Gosh, those 2 times were pretty great, weren't they?
How would I know? I wasn't even born yet.
Just think of all the free time you'll have on game days.
Those games were the highlight of my week.
Well, at least your home and auto are protected with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
The Fan Poll is brought to you by Caster Connection. Visit CasterConnection.com to shop online or to work with our Caster Solution specialists.
Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another air conditioner breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next-day air installation.
All right, still basking in the glow of that national championship for Ohio State. And who knows, maybe that's why everyone's not so quick to turn the page. Because we try to live in the present. You try to, what did they say, Matty? Let's enjoy this for a little while. Now, the coaches can't. They got to move on. They've got transfers and recruits and quarterbacks to develop and teams. What have you done for me lately? All that stuff, right? And so, I was trying to ask myself a little bit about the spring game and be honest about it. And certainly it underwhelmed as far as the attendance goes. I don't think anybody would deny that. I've been to how many of those? 30, 31 of those. And it was underwhelming. No one can deny that. And then you start to ask yourself why. And, okay, so the Jackets were playing a meaningful game at the exact same time. Now, I'm not telling you that if there was no Jackets game that you could add 20,000 people to the spring game. Of course not. Maybe you lowball that and you just say, maybe that would have been an extra $5,000. Maybe a Buckeye fan that was going to the Jackets, a meaningful game. Maybe they had their tickets already because they thought Ovi was going to break the record there, whatever. So maybe add another 5 to it. And then you did have the Masters going on that Saturday, a pretty big sporting event that people like to watch on TV and sit on their couch in the afternoon and watch. Now, I don't know if you add all that together, if you took away those two events, if it wasn't Masters Saturday and the Jackets weren't playing, where would this have gotten to? 50 tops? Right. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
But then you also ask yourself, is it because we're just not so quick to want to turn the page? That football season took you all the way almost to February, and then the celebration, and it's like, that was such a special team, and I really don't know what the answer is. And I'm not telling you that 40,000 is nothing. What I'm telling you is we've never, ever compared ourselves to MAC schools. I don't want to hear, well, if you picked that up and moved it. No. It's Ohio State.
Yeah, you're a Mount Rushmore program around the sport.
And the other part, and I think this is the reason, you can give me your take on this. For the last 2 or 3 months, all we've heard is spring games going up in smoke. Yep. Up in smoke. Yep. They don't matter. Nobody cares. Coaches don't want to show their plays to anybody. They don't want guys to transfer if they look good in the spring. And they basically told us
we're shutting it down.
That spring games don't really matter, or they almost matter a little too much, so we can't showcase anybody now in this era. And when Ryan Day announced, hey, we're shifting this, no more showcase, it's going to be a game, I was kind of proud of that. I gave him a lot of praise for that. Like, lean into it. Your fans deserve it. Go out there. You're the national champs. Show them that you can still do a spring game. And I'm wondering if just all that talk and other things just kind of filtered into people's minds like, all right, well, if all these schools are saying that these are no big deal, then maybe they aren't.
AR, I think we could put all those ingredients in one pot, and it could be all of them at the same time, because this is all going to hit different for everybody. I think at the end of the day, regardless of whether it was a true spring game, spring showcase, whatever it may be, we've seen this game for years not have the real feel of a game. So Masters, CBJ, football fan maybe looking at the situation on Saturday and saying, okay, what am I really going to get? Can understand why it was light. No doubt you would expect a little bit more. Does it really matter? Probably not, because that place is going to be absolutely rocking come week 1 when Arch Manning and game day and big noon kickoff and everybody and their mama is here. It's going to be electric over there, and that is what really counts. But as far as still feeling the good vibes of a national championship, whether it's the team, the coaches, the fan base, whoever, I think you should enjoy as much of it as you can, because even a program like Ohio State, think about the window of time that they had to go through to get another national championship. So you have to soak that in as much as possible, whether you're Georgia, Ohio State, Bama, pick one of the elite programs. Like, a lot of times, more times than not, you're not ripping off 3, 4, 5 championships in a row. Like, that just doesn't happen. So you're going to have the peaks and valleys. As a program, right now it's at a peak. Soak it in as much as you can. Watch the game every single weekend again against Notre Dame. I don't care. Do what you got to do, because you just don't know when you're going to get it again, especially now in the expanded playoff where you're exposed a little bit more along the way just because of how many games you have to play to be that last team standing.
All right. With all that being said, let's not turn the page just yet. And let's hear from – so this is – set this up for me. This is Dan Lanning on Bussin' with the Boys.
Yep,
with Taylor Lewan and Will Compton. Okay. So he was asked by them, Dan Lanning, the coach of Oregon, about trying to get over that OSU loss, knowing you had beaten them the first time, and then having it all set up in the Rose Bowl, geographical advantage, all that stuff. And here come the Buckeyes circling back. Remember when I said that's probably the last team you want to see coming back from the 8-hole, and it was Ohio State. Here's Lanning on that loss.
Did that medicine last a little bit longer? Just no.
That medicine. I wake up every night about that medicine. Like, before we struggled early on beating Washington, and when I first started here, and we were able to get over that hump. Right, we were able to beat them this past season. Right now, I wake up thinking about that Rose Bowl game, and didn't do it the way I wanted to do it. So it motivates me. Right, it makes me hungry to go back to work.
Mm-hmm.
How could it not? How could it not, with the way that they just got ripped apart, especially in that first half of the game? Just haymaker after haymaker, Jeremiah, Emeka, just the whole thing was just firing on all cylinders, because you had to have a feel on Oregon side that the game that we got in game 1 probably would see that again in game 2.
Similar.
Nobody was expecting a blowout, right? Like, I think we were all in the mindset of it's going to be another banger of a game between both parties, and Will Howard and the gang said, nah, not today.
We really, at that point, you really didn't know who you'd rather be. Would you rather be the team that knew that they had beaten them so they know they can? Or would you rather be the team that, hey, beaten us twice, especially coming off the game we just had with momentum? And he was asked about that on whether, because he got ripped from both ways, Maddie. The bracket and the fact that Ohio State had played a game. And so they had some rhythm going. And here he is having 3 weeks off.
I'll never make an excuse, but there's certainly things that you'd say, okay, how would I do this different preparing for that moment? It's a lot different when you're playing a game every single week. And I think there's a lot of things that college football is still trying to figure out. There's a reason the NFL playoffs are the way they are, right? There's been a lot of people doing playoffs for a long time in a lot of sports. It feels like we just decided we're always going to do it a little bit different than everybody else. And it's like, how about we just follow the model that exists? It's a pretty good model.
Mm-hmm. He's trying to play both sides. I understand it completely. Don't play victim. Don't play excuse, but see if you can't at least sprinkle a little stuff out there that, maybe not an excuse, but maybe a reason.
No doubt.
That is today's Buckeye Bulletin.
Fellas, let me talk to you about the Columbus Men's Clinic, because some common frustrations you hear from men are, hey, they're feeling tired, sluggish, and not like themselves, and just assuming that that's just a part of aging. That's not the case, fellas. And if you want to get that figured out, go over to the Columbus Men's Clinic, because there's no guesswork, there's no gimmicks, just real science and effective treatments. Beware of online fixes. Generic online pills are overpriced and they're ineffective. Personalized treatment plans, medical provider tailored solutions specifically to your body goals over at Columbus Men's Clinic. Act now. You got one life, fellas. Procrastination can make this a lot worse. Trust me, you don't want to be in that camp. It's affordable and accessible consultation, including blood work. It's just $99 with results before you leave. So call 614-300-7400 or visit columbusmensclinic.com today.
All right, we come back, top of the hour after SportsCenter update. One player's, quote, threat. Should it worry the team that may be drafting him? That's next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If your idea of the perfect radio show is all Buckeyes all the time, then it's your lucky day, Slappy, the Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
This is This Date in Reds Baseball with team historian Greg Rhodes.
Veteran Reds fans will recall the Reds baseball park in the west end of Cincinnati, Old Crosley Field. The Reds played in that ballpark starting in 1912, but in the first years, the park was known as Redland Field, named for the team's Reds nickname. But in 1934, Cincinnati businessman Powell Crosley bought the Reds, and on this date, April 16, 1934, the name of the park officially changed from Redland Field to Crosley Field. And it remained the home of the Reds throughout the 40s, 50s, and 60s until 1970, when the Reds moved to Riverfront Stadium in downtown Cincinnati. Memories of Crosley Field beginning this April 16, 1934, this date in Reds baseball.
This Date in Reds Baseball is brought to you by the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, presented by Dinsmore. Celebrating greatness, preserving history, providing inspiration.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. T&Cs apply.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, three-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, two-time national football champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining Life Search to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to lifesearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. Life Search featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit lifesearch.com today.
I can't wait to meet her! Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! It's full Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor!
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me! Marry me, or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news and stats to placing bets in just a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code JOEQ to get started today. That's JOEQ, JOEQ. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. The Columbus Blue Jackets playoff watch in full effect tonight as the Carolina Hurricanes take on the Montreal Canadiens. If the Hurricanes win in regulation, then the CBJ can get in with a regulation win over the Islanders tomorrow night. 6:35 this evening, the Guardians continue their series in Baltimore with the Orioles. Gavin Williams gets the start for Cleveland opposite Dean Kramer. The Cincinnati Reds have won 4 straight. They'll look to make it 5 when they host the Seattle Mariners at 6:40. Nick Martinez versus Bryce Miller, the pitching matchup. You can hear that one in its entirety over on ESPN Columbus. We will join it in progress at 8 here on The Fan, immediately following the Buckeye Show. And former Buckeye basketball center Austin Parks has committed to Toledo. This one brought to you by Germain Toyota, the best selection of new and used cars in Central Ohio. View that selection online at germaintoyota.net.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and Ice feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care.
All right, final hour of the program, back at it, Rothman and Ice. We'll get into the Jackets, and we'll pay off on that tease, Maddie. What would you like first?
I feel like the Jackets just, we got to give them their due right now. With
that's an itch that needs to be scratched.
Yeah, no doubt. With what's on the line tonight, Montreal, Carolina, Jacket fans rooting for Carolina, and just with the way that the team has played to this point. I remember you mentioned to me last week that it would probably take 6 wins in a row for this plus help for it to become very realistic. And here we are, 1 game away from that scenario happening, obviously needing some help tonight. I mean, with or without them getting into the postseason, for me, this season was a win. Of course, I want them to get in to the playoffs, especially now that you're this close. Unfortunately, you don't control all of your own destiny. And I was thinking, watching the game last night, and you mentioned him earlier, and some of the small things that he does, and that being Sean Monahan. And a guy like him that does some highlight reel stuff, can do that, but does some of the grimy work. And you mentioned the face-offs and all that. Like, this team, to me, AR, would comfortably be in if he's around and didn't have to miss multiple weeks. And you didn't have a glue guy like that. So you take him out of the equation. You still have guys along the way that are figuring it out. And the young guys that KJ and Fantilli are having awesome years, especially Fantilli. I mean, getting the 30 goals at his age is just awesome to see. But the unfortunate stuff that can happen within a season to put you in a position like this, one of those things is not having Sean Monahan around, because since he's come back, the dude has been so good and has done so many things. And you saw it again last night, and hopefully we get to see more from him outside of tomorrow because he's been a dude, no doubt, for them out there on the ice.
He certainly was instrumental in both of their early goals of that game last night, and it's not something you'll see on a highlight reel because all they'll show you is the play and the puck going to the net. You won't see him winning that face-off when then Fabro lines up that slapper, bar down, 1-zip, glove side. And then you probably won't see him on his knees digging out that face-off on the power play and then getting the no-looker to KJ for the lefty to just whistle one through the 5-hole. So now that's 2-zip. And the game was unreal because even at 2-0 early third, Fabs gets poke-checked, and now they got a really good look on Jet Greaves. He's been the best story in the sport the last several games. I'm too close to it. I know there have been other good stories. I think Morgan Geekie for the Bruins has scored in, what did I texted a buddy of mine last night because I have in fantasy, so I got to do that stuff. That he's scored in 6, what has he scored with? 6 straight games. Wow. He has scored in, and then he's also scored in 9 of his last 11 and 11 of his last 14. There have been some good stories, but you need leadership. You need guys like Monahan to glue it together. Yeah. But the other way to look at it is when injuries happen in sports, it forces guys to be bigger and better than maybe they wanted to be at that point in time. We've seen guys not be ready for responsibility at that time, and then we've seen guys be able to handle it beautifully. And he's one of those guys that stepped up in the absence, and we saw Fance score last night and get to those 30 goals that you're talking about. So that's really the other angle of the story is that this team is growing because they had to at times. We knew what they were up against before the season. We knew what they've been up against in goaltending, and Z obviously has had a historic year. But you're right. You're seeing guys like Fantilli grow because they've had to and grow because they're very good and they're getting the reps and they're getting experience and they're feeding off the wins now. The funny thing about it is, I always try to say who guys remind me of when I hear them talk. Monahan is, who Adam Driver is, right? It's like all I hear is Adam Driver when he talks. It's funny how, and maybe it's just the radio in me now where you don't see a guy, you just hear their voice a lot. And so, but he has been very good. And I liked what I saw last night. Greaves is amazing because sometimes I thought he was even being too risky, the way he was outletting the puck, the way he was passing the puck from deep in the crease and to his own blue line. It was a little risky, but he's playing with such confidence. When a guy's locked in like that, you don't say anything. You just kind of let him do his thing. But yeah, they have now put themselves in a very odd position to have to wait. And then if they get what we think they could get tonight. However, I've checked the odds again. Now Montreal is a fairly decent favorite at -135. I don't know what was going on this morning. I really don't. Either a lot of money came in on Carolina just because they thought Montreal was going to choke this away, and then obviously the money tilted one way and they had to get it back to the middle, so they were tempting people to take Montreal. 2 hours before the show, you could have gotten Montreal at even money today on home ice. And the other difference is, I'll be very curious how Montreal plays tonight now that their backs are officially against the wall. Like, now it's done. There's no tomorrow. They know that. They can't hope for the Islanders. You can't hope for the Jackets to lay an egg on Thursday. I know pressure is, no one can predict the science of that and how a game's going to go and how a puck's going to bounce or a penalty or whatever. But there's no way Montreal takes the ice tonight thinking there's a tomorrow if they don't win. I agree. Like, they can't. So how they handle that, because sometimes you just got to, these guys eventually go, we've blown it all the way to this point, but we still control our destiny. Montreal's trying to convince themselves that this has nothing to do with Columbus. We take the ice at home tonight against a team that's resting guys, and we're supposed to win. We should win. Anything that came before this doesn't matter. We've lost all these games. It doesn't matter. We can still get in. The opponent's the same, all of that. And that's why I find this one so fascinating. And Dean Evison certainly was asked a lot about the accomplishments and leading up to this point. And he talked about the win streak that got him to this point.
Just playing hockey, preparing the same way. You guys they just want to play. Obviously, we want to play longer, and they're just playing hard and preparing properly and getting ready to go, and got one more to do it.
He's been very careful, and I think he's been very good at not leaning into the individuals now. the only way they get to this point is be a team, because everyone wanted to focus on Jet last night, and rightfully so. And he's asked a lot about it. Jet's good, but, it's not just one guy. Mm-hmm. We're all feeding off each other. He's been very good at that. And he's also trying to calm them to the point where they're not at Thursday yet. Thursday may not matter.
Right.
So there's really, you come out of a game like that last night, and all you can kind of say is what he's been saying, that we're playing the right way. We're doing what we need to do. I think, listen, they were freed up. They were done. They were less than 1% chance of making the playoffs a handful of games ago. And what that did for them is it freed them up. Okay, we're probably done. Let's just go play hockey. It happened with Rory McIlroy. Double bogey the first hole. Let's go play golf now. It's over. Maybe I've blown it. Maybe I haven't. Let's go play. And so now where they are in this thing, if they get the dream scenario, then Matty, Thursday becomes a different level of, well, now you control everything that you didn't control before. And so the whole narrative changes.
And you just hope if we get to that point that they don't play tight, which I don't think that they will. I don't think they will, because they got to have so much confidence in how they're playing at the moment. But more importantly, if you're a defenseman, Z, and we talked to Dante earlier, those guys have to have confidence that they can go out there and play free and play aggressive because of the way that Jet Greaves is playing. But I just want to lock in real quick on Adam Fantilli and what he's turned into, because that draft, Connor Bedard was the guy. He was the guy. And he may in time be the guy in the face of that class. But right now, it's Adam Fantilli. It's Adam Fantilli, and the Jackets getting him third overall. You got a centerman that's not just a guy that's going to fill at the back of the net for years to come, which he has this year. It's a two-way guy, as you know, AR, and he goes out there and he gives it his all. And I remember him talking about that and the pride that he takes in being a two-way guy coming out of college and coming into the NHL, and now that's happening. And so for him last year to have that wild injury and for him to be taken out for the amount of time he was taken out a year ago, to get in the lab and come out as the player that he has been this year, just becoming the 9th CBJ player to score 30 goals in a season, is just what you hoped you were getting when you drafted him third. And this is going to be a face of the franchise guy for hopefully years and years to come. 5 goals over his last 3 games. And it's also a guy that we've seen step up in critical moments, in big-time games. That's what Adam Fantilli is. So credit to him for figuring it out and really fine-tuning his game, honing in on the skills that he already had and taking it to a whole nother level, because that is an absolute monster out there on the ice. And they did a heck of a job of identifying the talent. He did a heck of a job of putting in the work, and he's created some history this year, again, by just being the 9th player in the history of the franchise to score 30 goals in a season.
He got 30 off the toe of his skate because he was in the right place. And he went to the right place. Yeah, listen, it's been a wild season. They have 261 goals. It's the most they've scored in a season. Now in 22, they had Ollie, and they had Patty, and they had Boone, and they had Roslovic, and Gus scored a lot. I think Silly and Z had theirs. But, yeah, this one with Marchie and Fantilli and KJ, and Z's having his year. Voronkov. Monahan has 19. Here's the big one, and this is what they didn't expect. Olivier has 18 goals.
Mm-hmm.
That was not predicted by anybody.
Nobody had that on the bingo card.
JVR has always kind of pitched in a little bit.
Yep.
And so, yeah, this is kind of they are doing it by committee, and it's been a fun watch. We'll see if we get one more massive game out of it, which would be Thursday, but it has to happen tonight, and Montreal has to lose in regulation. Cannot go to OT. Cannot get a point. We'll come back, and is it a threat or just a guy who loves what he does and wants to do it in the pros? We'll tell you next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
Hey, living with chronic pain, it's like trying to get comfortable on a cactus sofa, walking on pins and needles. Nothing feels good. And forget trying to do the things you love and enjoy. Like the spring, it's getting warm, whether you want to golf, whether you want to hike, whether you want to bike, whether you want to play pickleball. You're just trying to get by. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter here. I want you to know something. The medical pros at QC Kinetics right here in Columbus are on the case and focused to finally get you the relief you need. Finally, calm that debilitating joint pain in your knee just like I did. Maybe it's your hip, your shoulder, your back. Don't miss a beat, no surgery or long recovery. I'm done with getting cut on. With QC Kinetics, the science is solid. They give you your life back. A life healthier, free of harmful meds. That's the whole mission of QC Kinetics. You could be a candidate. So go to qckinetics.com/Columbus to find out how easy it is. They've got offices now in Canal and Grove City, so call 380-208-4544.
It's a different world today than it was 30 years ago when I started Care Heating and Cooling. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, 30 years ago, you were the first to warn of companies using service technicians as salespeople, of abusing the trust that a service technician has. With the big conglomerates now buying companies all over Central Ohio, this has become the normal business model.
It's all about greed. The conglomerates know they can make a lot more money by incentivizing their technicians to sell furnaces instead of fixing them. They train their techs to take advantage of a customer when they are the most vulnerable.
Dad, that is not how we were taught. In 2024, Care Heating and Cooling was awarded a BBB Torch Award for Ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
My name is Paul. I'm 58 years old. I lost 45 pounds thanks to the Awaken 180 program. Before Awaken 180, I was drinking Pepto out of the bottle at night to go to sleep from heartburn. I was struggling getting up and down the stairs, like tired all the time. And I didn't know that's how it wasn't supposed to be. I just accepted that's how my life is. And then one day I said, it doesn't have to be this way. I made a decision to change my life and I chose Awaken 180. And that was the best choice I ever made. I needed support. I'm a person who needed support. Awaken 180 provided that support for me. They changed my relationship with food. I changed it with their guidance. That was the whole thing. I had to change my relationship with food. And I learned how to eat. I learned healthy fats. I learned all about sugar and what it does to me. And I just learned a new way to live.
A change Paul and I both needed and we received with Awaken 180. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Oh, hey, a fan show where you can be the star. Sundays at 11, it's the new fan call-in show presented by ESPN Bet at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Your calls, your tweets, your voicemails, your opinions. You could be a homer, a hater, or whatever you want to be. Your family may not listen to you, but we will. The fan call-in show presented by ESPN Bet at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Sundays at 11 on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
You pay what we pay with employee pricing at Coughlin Ford. Take over $5,500 off MSRP on a new 24 Ford Escape. Employee price $28,000. Or take over $7,000 off MSRP on new 25 F-150s and 24 F-250s. Visit CoughlinFord.com.
Coughlin has the car for you.
All factory rebates to dealer. All prior sales excluded. In-stock units only. Must finance through Ford Motor Credit. Not all will qualify. No security deposit required. Residency restrictions may apply. See dealer for details. N43025.
At Diamonds Direct, our experts go the extra mile to ensure you have the tools to say I do with absolute confidence. Our promise to you is a completely risk-free shopping experience rooted in transparency, education, and integrity. No pressure, no intimidation, just clarity and confidence in your purchase. But we're about more than just price. Everything is backed by our exclusive guarantees. Put our tools to the test against any competitor, and our expert staff will ensure you get the very best overall value and unforgettable experience. Learn more at DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Hey there, Central Ohio. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens. Mid-50s and sunny this afternoon. Temperatures drop tonight under clear skies, near freezing by early Thursday. We'll see temperatures in the mid-60s Thursday afternoon. Dry during the day. Small rain chance Thursday night. Rain chances will pick back up Friday night, but that'll come after a dry Friday that pushes temperatures near 80. That's your latest 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Freestyle. Snap Leads.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. Or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, Bet365 time.
Yes, sir. And fellas and ladies out there at Bet365, let me let you know what we don't do. We don't do ordinary. Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. Guardians, just a game back or half game back of the Detroit Tigers after their win last night against the Baltimore Orioles. Make sure you're downloading the Bet365 app today. If you are a new customer, listen closely because all you have to do is bet $5 and you get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. So check out Bet365 online and the app. It's a good place to be.
What are you doing?
I'm looking at Anthony Davis. Give me the Brow tonight, taking on the Sacramento Kings in a play-in game. AD's been back for a few games, so he's ramped up. Obviously, no Kyrie. Obviously, no Luka Doncic. So he's got to be the offensive force for them in a do-or-die type of game tonight. So give me Anthony Davis plus 200 to get to 30 points tonight. So I'm rocking with the Brow at plus 200 to get to a 30-piece AR versus those Kangs.
All right, I have no idea who's playing this hockey game tonight. I'm going to assume that our old Columbus friend Jack Roslovic is playing for the Canes. So let me lean into a plus 240 goal for him.
Okay, lean with it, rock with it. I like what you're doing over there. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Again, download the Bet365 app today. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. Offer subject to meeting qualifying criteria.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
You know, the days of a player doing those boring interviews saying, I'm just here to help the ball club, do whatever the team needs me to do. You know what? Whatever role they put me in, be a good teammate, help my boys.
Yep.
Travis Hunter says he won't play football at all if an NFL team tries to limit him to just one side of the ball. And he said, now, no team has expressed any issues with him playing both corner and wide receiver. So this is almost a preemptive strike on you can't say I didn't say anything kind of deal.
Told you.
But this is a top 4 pick telling a team that he hasn't even been drafted yet and how unhappy he will be and quit if they don't do what he wants. I almost think we asked Schefter about this earlier today. He dismissed it. I'm not saying it's not real, but I'm not really sure why he would put this out there right now. It might sour a couple teams. It might think you're a great talent and we have ideas for you. And our fit with our team, well, we already have corners we really like. Or we have really good receivers we like. Or we're drafting you as this. Like, I don't know. It's kind of a weird vibe I get now. I don't think he would quit.
No, I'd be blown away if he's like, you know what? Want a Heisman, want a Biletnikoff. This team only wants me to play one side of the ball. I'm retiring. That ain't happening.
Come on.
It ain't happening.
Why
I think he's
say
just, it? Think he's just throwing that out there for whatever reason. But maybe he is serious. Maybe he is. We shall see. I think regardless of what squad he goes to, he's going to do a little bit of both. You nailed it, though, when it comes to one thing. It's all about what that team needs. And that's the beauty of having a Travis Hunter type of player is whatever you may need week in and week out, he can help you. He can absolutely help you. I like him at wide receiver. I think after what I saw this season with him going out there and being really the true threat on offense for Colorado and him having that type of success, that lets me know that he's for real at wide receiver, but also what he does at corner too with taking the ball away is important. And so it's just all about, hey, this week we may be going up against Baby Chet's Steelers, and we got DK on one side and Pickens on the other. We need you to play more corner reps. Or we got a secondary that we're going up against that they look like they're food, and we need you at wide receiver because we think you can eat. That's what you're getting with him. So I think he probably has an understanding of that. I would be very surprised if this goes down a road where he is going to walk away from the game because one team is going to want him to do one singular thing, because I don't think there's teams out there that want him to do one singular thing all the time.
All right, let me play a little conspiracy theorist for you. And you're the right guy to ask because you're the Raven. Mm-hmm. John Harbaugh weighed in on this and said there's not enough hours in the day for a guy to prep a guy to play corner and receiver in the NFL. And I think he has a pretty good point. The other part is, like, even beyond the reps on the practice field, the playbook, the audibles, the game plan on both sides of the ball, and then you add the physicality of, roughing him up on both sides of the ball. And I'm asking you this way, Matty.
Yeah.
Does John Harbaugh have a stake in this because he knows that the Browns would be the ones drafting him, and he's kind of putting it in the water there like, if you think you can have this guy play both ways, more power to you.
100%.
It's not possible.
100%.
Okay.
Shefty, a week or two ago, hey, starting to hear some things out there that Cleveland's in on Travis Hunter. John Harbaugh, he's got his ear to the ground. He's in that inner circle of these type of conversations around the league. He may have a real feel right now and know that they're taking Travis Hunter at 2 because part of the quote was, I assume we'll be playing against him, so we're about to find out how that team does it. Yeah, no doubt. That's what he's talking about. And so for Travis, I will give him this. The amount of snaps that he played at Colorado blew me away. He was not a guy that was just dabbling on both sides of the ball. It was consistency week in and week out, high amount of snaps on offense, high amount of snaps on defense, and my play is not going to drop off at all. I don't know if you can pull that off in the NFL because his conditioning level tells me that he can do it. The physicality is the physicality, and yes, you're going up against grown men now, so that is kind of wait and see mode on that front. But I'm not going to doubt him. I'm not going to doubt him until I see otherwise.
Get Hilliard Davidson grad Mike Furry on the phone. See how this can be done. He's talented enough to do it. The NFL's a beast. If you're drafting him at 2, you want to take care of him. You want to protect him. But the versatility he can give you, it's hard. You'd be very tempted to want to play him multiple snaps on both sides of the ball and find out where that's, maybe you're right. Maybe it's more game plan specific. Maybe it's opponent specific.
Oh, yeah.
And strengths and weaknesses, where we need you this week kind of thing. That's how it can get done. But, yeah, I know he's made it clear he prefers playing both, but I don't know.
You know what?
I don't think I'm reading it without the context though, like of
we can't hear
really
tone.
Don't know.
We can't hear.
Yeah, I don't know how serious is this. Is more about love of football, and I can do it both, and I want to do both, and I hope whoever drafts me lets me do both. Because if they don't, I'm going to be disappointed.
To me, that's the way I read it. Yeah. That's the way I read it. I'll tell you this, AR. If he does get into the league and he plays enough snaps on both sides of the ball, his contracts are going to be one of the most fascinating contracts in the whole league when it's time for him to get to the negotiating table. Because he's going to have the ability to make a boatload of money in this league. But the team working out a deal with him, if he does play corner and wide receiver at a pretty high clip, that's going to be must-see TV to see what those numbers look like for him. Because he's the only guy in the league that's going to have that ability to do that.
All right, those are your pre-snap reads. What do the numbers look like for you? I'm talking about your testosterone level and that number that lands on the scale. If you're a guy 40 or older, you know you're curious to find out why maybe you don't have the energy or motivation you used to have. You're just not feeling like yourself lately. Everybody knows their own body. Low T Center is the place for testosterone replacement therapy. It may be the solution you've been looking for. This month, in April, the consultation is free. The treatment is covered by most major insurance. The most important thing, first off, is finding your number and find out if that could be a reason you're not feeling your best. So all you have to do is go to lowtcenter.com and book your appointment today, lowtcenter.com. When you go in there, you'll take the blood test. They'll give you the results back right there. You won't have to wait. And then their experts, the people that have more than a decade of experience helping patients, will optimize a treatment plan for you, not just a basic standard treatment. And then you can maybe be on your way to feeling a lot better. Get your levels checked, the simple test, get the results, find out if this is what's been missing. lowtcenter.com, Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare. All right, we'll stay with the draft next in 2 minutes. And presumably the top pick is ranking his favorite head coaches. And we'll read into this. It may not be hard. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
Let's go to the floor with some late-breaking developments on the markets. Jim?
Up things are down, down things are up.
Sounds like things
You
are...
don't understand. Right is left, lemons are sweet, spaghetti is cold, the milk is warm.
Okay, but are you seeing anything that maybe smart-minded money people should know about?
Yeah. Apex Pros.
The pros who knows?
Probably one of the most stable things you can do is an Apex Pros air conditioner tune-up.
Air conditioner tune-ups, you say?
Oh yeah, Apex Pros knows most expensive summer breakdowns can be prevented by getting a tune-up now.
Yes, it's known that a tuned-up AC lowers energy bills, which is important to...
Oh, this is unbelievable.
What, big sell-off? Huge increase?
No, I spilled coffee on my new shirt. Anyway, tune-up save on energy bills, plus make your air conditioner last years longer.
Good to know Apex Pros keeps things stable and predictable.
That's on my pants, too. This is the worst day. This is historic. You know that.
No doubt about it. Columbus loves Apex Pros. The pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The perfect ratio of sports talk, dogs, pro wrestling, and gambling advice.
It's science.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right. This is, I don't know if this is the lock of all locks, Cam Ward going number 1. Certainly it has to be very close. You guys seen any odds on that?
Man, I haven't recently, but over the last week or two, everything when it comes to that first overall pick is heavily slanted towards Cam Ward's going to be the guy down there in Nash Vegas.
Doing a quick search on that, see if we can find out. No, it's like I said, they really haven't really put anything out because I think it's such an overwhelming favorite. They've kind of gone on Bet365. I know they've done picks like 3, 4, 5. And so Abdul Carter is the overwhelming favorite to go number 3.
Yeah, AR definitely just feels like the draft's starting at 2. The draft's starting at 2, and what are the Browns going to do there, whether it's, Abdul or Travis Hunter? That seems to be where this thing is going there, and I understand, the intrigue when it comes to both players. The foot thing's a little spooky for me, I got to be honest, when it comes to Abdul Carter, especially when you have Miles that had a foot situation going on, and Nick Chubb's got his own foot situation going on. I know he's not on the roster, but just the Browns, you don't want to keep racking up guys on your roster that are dealing with foot injuries, but the possibility, if he does stay healthy, of Miles and Abdul, I get, but Travis Hunter, to me, that's where I would start if I was Cleveland at 2.
It feels like that's going to be the pick. As far as the foot goes with Abdul Carter, I mean, these teams get so much information now. Like, I can't imagine that you would get duped into thinking you're drafting a chronic injury type of thing or something that's so bad that it could affect his career. But
the on-field or the lack of on-field activity in the offseason that we've seen from him is a bit alarming to me. To your point, they've got so much good intel, so many good medical people within those 4 walls at every facility that they're going to get all the information. But it started at India. Like, I'm not missing the pro day. I'll be out there. And then at the pro day, he's timing his teammates doing the 40. And so we shall see. It's definitely going to be risky. If I were the Browns, I'm taking what I believe is a safe floor, very high ceiling type of guy in the reigning Heisman winner in Old Traff.
Cam Ward can make plays. He's a gunslinger. You're going to take the good with the bad. I think he's got a pretty high ceiling. I've said this before. I think he has the high ceiling, and I think Shedeur has the higher floor. I do. Is there a trap door under Cam Ward? It's possible. It is. We've seen guys that have been very athletic and have a live arm and all that, but they just can't. They screw up when defenses disguise their coverages, and in the red zone he wasn't that good. But I think they're intrigued certainly by what he brings to the table. And so, was this on a pod he did with a buddy?
No, I think he was playing a video game, maybe on Twitch or something.
Fortnite.
Yeah, there you go, playing some Fortnite, and
it's even more casual.
He went down the road of ranking his favorite NFL coaches currently in the league.
Yeah, and this is going to be fun because when I was doing this, I almost felt like he was going in the draft order. Let's hear it.
Well, I'm not naming top 5. I'm naming 5 head coaches I like. Number 1, Brian Callahan.
Tennessee.
Number 2, Stefanski. Number 3,
Cleveland.
Brian Daboll.
Giants. Patriots now?
Number 4.
I think I'm starting to see the pattern.
Pete Carroll.
Oh, Raiders.
Number 5, Aaron Glenn.
Jets.
Stefanski.
Okay, so he's not going to Cleveland.
Oh, yeah.
He's pronouncing that coach's name.
And I think
Brian
Daboll.
We got another clip, too, that leads us down a path of, he knows where he's going.
Of course he does.
In this draft.
His
because
top coach is Brian Callahan.
Not only that, AR, but he ranked his top wide receivers in the league, and here is his list.
Okay.
So you already said Ridley, Jamar, Justin.
I think chasing Jamar is like the top.
And then for my last one, Traylon Burks.
His guys that are already in Tennessee. Calvin Ridley, Treylon Burks are in his top 5 wide receivers of the NFL.
He said Burt's beeswax and Stefanski.
There it is.
Aaron Glenn.
Can I get a Stefanski again?
Stefanski.
It's done. Hey. Just like we got done talking about, he is a Tennessee Titan. I'm sure his agent's already looking at condos, houses, whatever down there. But to have Calvin Ridley and Treylon Burks in your top 5.
He threw Jamar and Justin in there just to give it some credibility.
Some credibility.
Jamar, Justin, throw those guys in there.
Some credibility. But you're right about if they hit on this guy and they can hone in a little bit of that gunslinging stuff from him, I think he's going to be all right for him. I really do. And look, we had a guy coming out years ago who just won the MVP, and Josh Allen that had a bit of that same label on him, right? Can you fine-tune the bad turnovers and the head-scratching interceptions? To this day, Josh still has that, and he still finds a way to play at a very high level. So it's the give and take that you have. So I agree with your assessment on Cam. I agree with your assessment on Shedeur. And I think both guys and both styles can work. Both styles can absolutely work there. So if you're Brian Callahan, who was down in Cincinnati for a couple years, you got to get off Will Levis. And you just hope that this is the guy that will give you the runway that you need. Because we know Vrabel showed that it can work down there in Nashville. He's a defensive guy. Brian Callahan is an offensive guy. And so they paid Calvin Ridley pretty high dollar, I believe, last all season. They need to get those playmakers rolling, and Cam Ward just might be that ticket for him.
Yeah. It's funny because Will Levis was bigger. He was more prototypical, right? 6'4", 230. Like, he passed even a little more of the look test from a physical standpoint at quarterback. And he was a pro-style guy. And
yeah, I never really liked him that much. Me personally.
He was tough. He played through a lot of injuries, Matty.
Once I saw him go down kind of like the muscle man build, I was like, yeah, I don't really love that either. Something about that at the quarterback position I don't need.
Well, he was willing to take on defenders at the goal line. He was willing to run the football.
Just hands out way too many gifts. And you're just not going to survive that way in the NFL. I mean, his touchdown to interception ratio last year was horrendous. And
what was it? Do you remember?
I can look that up for you, but I want to say it was pretty close to even.
Yeah,
but
when it's below the 2-1 mark, then that's not good.
13-12.
Yeah,
13-12. You just can't. You're not surviving that way in the NFL.
The other thing that when you watched Levis come out of Kentucky, and I think he didn't have everything he needed there, and like I said, I think he played injured, but when you come out of an offense and a lot of your throws are behind the line of scrimmage, it's very hard to get a real read on what kind of NFL quarterback you're going to be, and that's kind of who he was. but he was physical. He was an athlete, and he was kind of a gamer. And I felt like he had a little bit of toughness. And certainly from a physical standpoint, he passed the test. And he had good arm talent, but I just didn't see enough of it. So I have no problem with him. The days of missing now, yeah, your misses are going to get pointed out in the draft. But these teams are not afraid now of taking another swing. Like, they don't have to live. Like, a lot of teams have swung and missed. And it's just the nature of it now. They just put so much weight in it. In the past, it was like, I can't believe you drafted that guy. It doesn't stay. The microwave society would kind of move on.
They're not waiting.
Real fast.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
They're not waiting. Will Levis was drafted in 2023. They took a quarterback, Malik Willis. He was drafted in 21 or 22.
I think the year before.
The year before?
Yeah, but much later.
But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Third round.
That's what I mean.
They're a franchise that's just continuing to swing. So regardless of where they got the quarterback in the draft, I like what they're doing. Like, you got to keep swinging, because when you find the guy, your fortunes change so quickly, and it puts you in that fast lane of success. And so this should be what a team like Tennessee does.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, guys. I knew what you meant, like Levis wasn't a first rounder. I thought you were comparing it to where they were drafting today with Cam Ward, basically.
No.
Versus
I meant Willis versus Levis.
Absolutely right. So Will Levis doesn't go down as a big, massive miss for them, because they were picking him 33rd. It wasn't this. If they bust on this guy and one of these other quarterbacks turns into a Pro Bowler, then all of a sudden they'll be like, man.
A couple things there. First of all, Will Levis was also kind of viewed as falling to them because he was a draft invitee. So it's almost like with the Titans, there was not much risk there. And similarly here, if Cam Ward's a bust, I think it'd be wrong of us to retrospectively say, oh, how could they have not drafted Shedeur? Everybody's saying Cam Ward is better than Shedeur Sanders.
I agree with you. We've played that same game with a little bit even with Deshaun. I know people thought he was a can't-miss NFL. I don't remember him being can't-miss. I knew people liked him.
Well, Dabo was calling him Jordan. Remember that?
That's yeah. No, if anything, it's the Colts. It's Anthony Richardson. Although Richardson wasn't drafted first. That's the other thing. You had Bryce and CJ go. Mm-hmm. Bryce Young is the one that
was a debate. Bryce versus CJ.
That's going to be the one that if Bryce kind of has a second act, then he can. And CJ, while he didn't flop, obviously he's very good.
Yeah,
and has a great future. Wasn't the guy, the same specific guy he was early, but. Yeah, I mean, this is all keep swinging. That's what happens.
All you can do, because it's the most important position. And until you get that guy, you're not going to be in the mix for anything serious. So you got to find him. So absolutely, like you said, you just keep hopping in the box and taking swings at these quarterbacks until you land one.
All right, up next, we tell the truth, and it includes Chet's favorite game. How many lies and a truth?
2 of them, baby. 2 truths and a lie.
Play it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Trailing Burks.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's going to audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, 3-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, two-time National Football Champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining LifeSearch to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to LifeSearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. LifeSearch featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit LifeSearch.com today.
Do you realize making the minimum monthly payments on your credit cards, it'll take nearly 20 years to pay them off? What if I told you there's a way for you to get them all paid off in just a matter of weeks? Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Imagine wiping out all of your credit cards. Here's where you go. AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com. Advantage First Lending is the easy button for tapping in to hundreds of thousands of dollars in your home equity. That's not the bank money, it's your money. Listen, your home, the value is way up. And now AFLcash.com has a super fast, hassle-free program that lets you turn that equity into cash. People do this are living their best life, their credit card debt free, with cash left over for other stuff like home improvements, maybe a vacation. See how much money you can get now. Go to AFLcash.com or call 844-394-CASH. That's 844-394-CASH. Say goodbye to greedy credit card companies. That's AFLcash.com.
Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender approval. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Here's a quick listening guide. When something's on the fan, it's on the station you're listening to right now. If I say something's on ESPN Columbus, it's on 1460 AM and the Fan's HD2. When in doubt, stream it on the Fan app. Thank you and good night.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's are us.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
For over 78 years, our family's been part of your love stories. At Diamond Seller, we offer bigger diamonds, better prices, and timeless designs for every chapter of your life. From your first yes to your forever I do, trust the jeweler who knows diamonds best. Visit Diamond Seller today.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Carpenter Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric, and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan.
Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Window Nation. For all your window needs, visit windownation.com.
All right, our version of Tell the Truth on Wednesday, since we have brand new producer Baby Chet Holmgren, a.k.a. the Loose Cannon, is he came up with the 2 truths and a lie, which I had a hard time grasping last week when I thought it was 2 lies and a truth, which I think sounds even better to me. And then I said I never played this game as a kid. I played mostly Truth or Dare. But this seems as fun. So he has tasked me with coming up with my 2 truths and a lie.
There you go,
Well,
baby.
you already lied because you volunteered, just to be clear.
No, I didn't. I wanted him to do it.
In the show meeting after last Wednesday's show, I said I would do them, and then you go, no, we should rotate. You know,
I thought you
start,
came up
and then
with
I'll
that.
go, and then Matty Ice will go.
Okay.
I said, look, it's going to be hard because coming up with lies, you got to fabricate them so where it sounds realistic enough. It takes some effort. So I volunteered, and then
All
you
right.
said, no, we should pass it around.
So I give you the 3 of them now, and then you determine?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna jot these down on my sheet here.
And so, by the
let me
way,
think about this.
I'm going to start this, and then I will use Matty Ice's counsel, but it's going to be up to him to have some honor, because if he feels like he already knows the answer, then he's got to back out.
Okay. Fair enough.
But if he doesn't know, then we can bounce ideas off of one another.
Okay. All right.
Prompt 1.
Here we go. I was on the prom court in high school my senior year.
Okay. What's next?
Prompt 2.
While biking to football practice with my brother, in our football pads and helmet. He got hit by a car, wasn't hurt badly, and I left him there because I didn't want to be late for practice.
I shouldn't be laughing at that. I'm sorry.
That's a good premise.
The third one would be...
Are you winging this?
Kind of. I was beating two-time U.S. Open champion Lee Janzen through 3 holes at OSU Scarlet. When I started the back, birdie, par, birdie. Okay. I was 200 through 3, leading two-time U.S. Open champion Lee Janzen in a Pro-Am. Those are the 3.
Okay, so just to make sure we have these correct. The first one was you were on the prom court in high school your senior year. The second was you were biking to football.
Hang on, I made a mistake.
Uh-oh.
I made a mistake.
He's about to amend one of his truths.
I made a mistake.
Honestly, don't even edit it because
I made a mistake.
You're already revealing that that's one of the truths.
No, it's not that.
This game is not supposed to be this difficult.
It's very difficult because I just blew it. Can I give you like 2 more? We do like.
Is it 4 truths and a lie, or is it 3?
Let's add a couple
truths?
more, and then you can
The
decide.
math is getting funky.
Yes,
right
it
now.
has to be because I screwed it up. I'm really sorry.
Mathing.
So you have the 3 I gave you.
Yeah.
All right, let me give you a couple more.
We're gonna have 5.
Let me give you a couple more. We have time. Let me give you a couple more.
Yeah.
I once went whitewater rafting down the Colorado River.
Okay.
I like that.
And then the last one, by the time I graduated college, I was a brown belt in karate, but I did not go after the black belt. It seemed too much of a commitment.
You were the original Karate Kid. Okay.
Those are the ones. So now you decide what's what. So I totally revamped the game.
Okay, the question is, we have 5 prompts. Am I supposed to ignore the first 3 or count them?
No, count them all and just...
How many lies and how many truths?
Yeah, how many lies do you have?
Do you want me to tell you that?
Yeah, how many lies of the 5?
Okay.
This is exactly what Fish wanted. He wanted him to butcher this game.
He really did. There's 1 lie.
The last 2 sound... The delivery on the last 2 sounded true to me.
I will buy the rafting and the karate. You're in on?
I'm in on that because the communication was clear. He wasn't stuttering or stammering. He seemed really confident in that.
Maybe I'm just a good actor.
Perhaps.
That Barney Rubble, what an actor.
The one that sounds out of bounds that I think he may be trying to fool us on is him or his brother getting hit on the way to football practice and him leaving him behind.
Because you know the lie is going to be creative. I think the prom court is way too simple to be a lie. I'm not even thinking about the prompts. I'm just thinking like a producer.
You see pictures of AR back in the day. You know, he was getting busy.
No, I'm saying that's true. I'm saying that's true because he wouldn't come up with that as a lie.
You're headed down the right path, I believe.
What's great is that there are, what, I give you 5?
Yeah.
There's only 1 lie in all of that.
It's not one of the last 2.
He's very good at golf, so him being out in front of Lee Janzen, I would believe.
He told that story very specifically, too. He gave you birdie, par, birdie, -2.
And the course.
He was giving you play-by-play of golf.
I've never heard him mention anything about a brown belt. I've known him for 10 years plus. I've never heard that before.
And then there was a pause because he gave his reasoning after. He said because it was too much of a time commitment at that point in time, which is believable because he's about to enter the workforce. And so he's going to, have a job and whatnot.
The dedication. The ability, the dedication, the discipline.
Right, we got 30 seconds.
First of all, are you eligible?
No, I'm out. I'm bowing out.
Do you know the answer to it?
No, I don't, but I want you to go.
What's the lie?
We're both going brown belt. Is the lie.
That's probably what the brown belt.
You got it.
There we go.
I did take Hapkido in college.
Okay.
But not karate.
Okay. There it is. My favorite part of this.
Well done.
Is that you left your brother behind after getting hit by a car.
Yeah.
There we go. Hey, before we go, if you missed anything from our show,
we're late to practice.
You get your podcast, type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3 will be waiting there for you. Bet365 is the exclusive sports betting sponsor of the Rothman and Ice podcast. Timmy Hall in for T-Bone next on Common Man and T-Bone.
Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
1, 2, 3. Here in the Fan is always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan.
Common Man here of Spring Cleaning has you thinking about spring upgrading. This is the month to do it. Freshen your home's look, boost your energy efficiency, and save big during Universal Windows Direct's Spring Home Improvement event. Right now, it's their classic fan favorite offer. You buy 2 windows, you get 2 free, and there's no limit. If you buy 4, you pay for 2. If you need 12, you pay for 6. What are you waiting for? Schedule your free in-home estimate today. Give them a call, 614-502-5220, or visit universalwindowsdirect.com.
2 years ago, Bobby Carpenter completed treatments for knee pain at QC Kinetics. So we're checking in with the former college and pro football player to see how he's doing.
I've been asked a lot, like, how long does this last? How long does it work? I go, I've had mine for a couple of years, and everything feels very good. It feels just as good as it did when I started to turn the corner.
Bobby's an active husband, dad, and business owner. That's why 2 years ago, he heard about QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative treatments, and he knew he could trust them for his chronic knee pain.
And thankfully, with QC Kinetics, I was able to go through this, and my activities are the same as it was. I'm able to coach my kids in sports. I can play golf. I can go run.
QC Kinetics patients like Bobby don't miss a beat. No surgery or rehab. Just freedom from debilitating joint pain. Ready for lasting relief from joint pain? Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation and see if you're a good candidate.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Hey, it's Anthony. Of course, I sit and do the show 3 hours a day. But after that, I'm looking to get things done, enjoy the spring weather. So I want to be on my feet a lot, playing golf, working out, just moving around. I was introduced to the Good Feet store because my feet were aching way too often. And what I found there is a 3-step custom arch support system that has me feeling awesome. My personally fit arch supports have helped realign my feet, reposition my body into a more ideal position, and not only that, strengthen my feet to help support me. It's made all the difference in how I feel every day. The Good Feet store is going to help you where you need relief and find the arch supports that work best for you. And when you wear them as a system, their arch supports are more effective at long-term pain reduction and elimination. So go in, take the free test walk. Good Feet arch supports are immediately available. Their products are proudly made in the USA. They're on Polaris Parkway and on Stringtown Road in Grove City or at goodfeet.com.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Reds fans, 2025 single game tickets are on sale now. Secure your seats for the biggest matchups at Great American Ballpark this year, including the Yankees, Dodgers, and Cubs. And don't miss out on honoring the Hit King on May 14th for a special Pete Rose night when all fans in attendance will receive a Pete Rose replica jersey. For tickets to join your Reds in 2025, visit reds.com/tickets.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Broadcasting from the